Life is this. I like this.
Happiness is your birthright, meaning you were born to be happy. If you're living this life unhappy, surrounded by unhappy people, you are doing you and your life a disservice. Happiness is your birthright, meaning no one can take that away from you. No one can add on to it. It is your responsibility to tap into what makes you happy. So wherever you are in life, whatever you're doing throughout the day, if it's not making you happy, know that you are killing your dreams. You are killing yourself because you were born to be happy.
The major mistake that everybody makes is waiting. Waiting to fucking feel like it. Waiting for somebody to pick you. Waiting for the right time. Waiting for you to feel motivated. It's not coming. For the big stuff, for the hard stuff, it requires a push, always has, always will. Nobody is coming to save your ass. It is up to you. And so if you want to change anything about your life, stop sitting around and wasting your goddamn life and start pushing yourself. Whether it's a fast, or it is starting a business, or it is changing how you talk to your spouse, or it's changing the kind of parent that you are, you got one life.
For example, let's utilize me. In order for me to create happiness for who I am, where I am, and where I'm headed in life, I have to first create it on the inside. I couldn't allow myself to walk around smiling while still torn on the inside. So I had to heal myself first, and after healing myself, I had to change my mentality to make myself happy within and allow that happiness to be expressed and showed on the outside.
I think we can all agree that today too many people wake up in the morning and as soon as they open up their eyes, the first thing they focus on is the grueling day that they had the day before. All the things that didn't turn out the way they wanted it to go. Then they start thinking about the grueling day that lies ahead of them, the traffic jam that they have to be into. And then they can't understand why, when they're going into work, their energy level is down here. And with what you're trying to accomplish, with the responsibility that you have, it has to be up here. It has to be up here. So what I'm asking you to do, as soon as you open up your eyes, before you take the covers off, before you plant your feet on the floor, is to think of something or someone that you are totally grateful for in your life. I don't care who it is, and I don't care what it is. Maybe it's the person lying next to you. Maybe you're thinking of your children, the dog that's lying on the side of the bed, the cat that's laying on the other side of the bed. Maybe you're listening to the birds outside the window in your house. Maybe you're thinking of your home. Maybe it's a particular goal that you achieved or someone that you helped a couple of days before. Folks, it doesn't matter what it is or who it is. Just feel it with your heart and soul and keep building from there.
Knowing who you are and having that aligned with what you want and living who you are and what you want in a world, and not responding to how that world responds to you, but responding to who you know that you are and what you know that you want. When you're happy, you respond to you and not the things around you. When you're happy, you live a life that is full of joy, full of abundance, full of allowing. When you're happy, you are you, and you are happy with being you.
I am somebody. I am somebody. I can change the world. I can change the world.
Happiness is who you are. It's not what you do. It's who you are. Whatever's in you will come out of you. A lot of times people say, when I get this, I'll be happy. Or when I go here, I'll be happy. Truth is, even if you go there and get this, something else is going to come up, and then you're not going to be happy. Happiness is who you are.
I wrote myself a check for $10 million for acting services rendered, and I gave myself 5 years, or 3 years maybe, and I dated it Thanksgiving 1995, and I put it in my wallet, and I kept it there, and it deteriorated and stuff, but then just before Thanksgiving 1995, I found out that I was going to make $10 million on, I think it was Dumb and Dumber. Maybe.
I think that the number one thing is you have to have a very clear vision, a very clear goal of where you want to go, because only then you will get there. You can have the best airplane, or the best ship in the world, but if the captain doesn't know where to go, he will just drift around. If the pilot does not know where to go, he will just drift around with his plane. So I think the key thing is that we know where we're going, and that you're very passionate about that. You see it always in front of you, the goal. And the other thing that's important is that you got to shoot for the top. You got to go and really have big goals and think big, because then you're going to get big. Then you're going to go and achieve big things. That is the most important thing. You know, we don't achieve big things by accident.
Write down what you would like to fix about your life. And then just, if you're 30 pounds overweight, you want to lose 30 pounds, do it the right way. Go start eating vegetables, monitor your calories, write down what you eat, exercise every day, force yourself to do it. Say you're the general. The brain is the general, the troops are the body. Get up and you do it.
I just believe that. I believe that I can create whatever I want to create. If I can put my head on it right, study it, learn the patterns, I feel very strongly that we are who we choose to be.
So, I want to encourage you right now, don't give in, go for it. Don't give up, don't throw in the towel. And even if your back is up against the wall, even if you are on the ropes and you are receiving a rope-a-dope financially, listen, you got to fight back. You don't get in life what you want, you get what you fight for. And when you decide that my future, my health, my marriage, my freedom, my happiness, my joy, my peace, my children is worth fighting for, you are securing your breakthrough.
You can do anything you want without limitation. Whatever it is that you decide you want to make come true in your life, you can do that. It is going to take an inhuman amount of work. You're going to have to be prepared to break yourself in half. You are going to have to learn more than anyone has ever learned. You're going to have to push yourself harder than anyone has ever asked you to push yourself before. You're going to go way beyond your breaking point. You're going to run until you vomit. You're going to study until you fall asleep. You're going to push and push and push, and then you're going to push some fucking more. And when you hit the limit, you're going to push again beyond that. You're going to force yourself into an adaptation response. And why? Because as Malcolm X said, the future belongs to those who prepare for it today. So if you don't put the work in today, if you don't do the unending, back-breaking work of developing yourself into something greater, the world is going to pass you by. The people that are going to own it are going to be the ones that did that work. And the one promise that I can make you right now is that somebody out there is outworking you. Somebody right now is doing the things that I'm saying. Somebody right now is doing the work of failing and getting up and getting better and pushing themselves and triggering that glorious adaptation response that makes humans the apex predator. Someone right now, they're putting in that work. And if you don't, the future is going to belong to them. And as Martin Luther King Jr. said, if you can't fly, then run. If you can't run, then walk. If you can't walk, then crawl. But whatever you do, you have to keep moving forward. It's not okay to make excuses. It's not going to slow people down. It's not okay to ask the world to stop so that you can step out front. It's not okay to expect little of yourself and demand great rewards. The only thing that's okay is to be in line with the way that the world really works. And if you want to be great, you've got to become capable of greatness. You've got to develop your skill set. You've got to take what you have now, and if that's crawling, then fucking crawl. But you drag yourself ever forward to a vision of yourself that is so clear and so specific that nothing could knock you off your path, because you, my friend, know exactly where you're going. You're willing to pay whatever price it takes to get there. And no matter what anybody says, no matter how many fucking hecklers come for you, no matter how many people try to throw dirt on you, try to stop you, try to knock you down, no matter how many fucking people come for you at night while you sleep, you will rise and you will keep pushing forward and you will get better every day. And no matter how many times people chop at you, knock you down, knock you off the path, you will get back on. You will crawl till you can walk, you will walk till you run, and then you will run until you fly. And that, my friends, is the only path forward. So if you want a fucking future that makes you happy, if you want a world that you're excited about, get your ass out there and earn it.
Imagine today is your birthday. You just woke up and you say to yourself, today is my birthday and nobody is gonna ruin it for me. No one's gonna ruin this day because it's your birthday. Imagine waking up like that every day when it's not your birthday and having that same attitude. We think we can do it, but it's hard. We rely on outside sources for us to be happy sometimes. We rely on somebody telling us something nice. We rely on buying something that makes us happy. We look outside of the very thing that makes us happy. We make us happy. We have absolute control of what we have in here to make us happy. We just don't do it. We don't use what we have already inside of us that makes us happy. When it's your birthday, you make a commitment to yourself. Today is going to be my best day ever. You waited for it all year. But why can't you wait for every day like that? Out of every year, out of every week, out of every month. Because we don't use what we have inside of us that makes us happy.
Happiness is the key to life. Happiness is the key to success. On your birthday, nothing can go wrong. It's the happiest day of your life. Sometimes the happiest month of your life. Nothing goes wrong. Everything goes perfectly fine. It's the greatest day, week, month, however you choose to decide it, however you choose to celebrate it ever.
In order for you to obtain any amount of success, any amount of wealth, any amount of prosperity, you have to first become happy.
I used to be angry all the time until I met some good friends who told me about myself. And in that time, I was an addict. I was addicted to anger. And so because of that, I was angry. People didn't want to be around me. I was angry. I didn't have the things I wanted in life. But when I was told, hey, If you want these friends that you want, you might want to stop being angry. When I decided and made a decision to not be angry anymore, and I decided to be happy, I started getting the things that I wanted in life. I have great friends now who help me with everything and who love me for me.
Happiness is your guiding light. Happiness is the illumination to your path. Happiness leads to everything that you want. If you don't have what you want, it's because you're not happy. Happy is the light to the path. Happiness is the way that you get to where you want to go. Happiness is connected to everything, but if it is not activated, then everything is chaotic, everything is in disarray. But once happiness is activated, once you're living a so happy and so grateful life, then everything will be illuminated. The whole path will be illuminated. You'll have everything that you want, and your cup will run over into every other aspect of your life, into all of the people around you. People respond to what they're given. And if you're exuding happiness, then not only are you charting your course, but you're also dropping light on the course of everyone around you. And so when you're happy, the whole world around you is happy. Even if they're not happy in their individual selves, because you're happy, your way is straight, your path is lightened, because you control who you are and you control your own happiness.
But on the days that you're not at that peak of happiness, on those days where your birthday, it's not that day, and the smallest thing happens and it directs you out of your happiness mode, everything goes wrong.
Think of the people that you admire the most, the people that you look up to every day. They are there because they are happy to be there. They are there because they chose happiness first, then their dreams and goals and the life that you love to see came second.
The worst part about it is we're not taught to be happy.
In my early 20s, I was in a terrible relationship miles away from home. I was in a different state surrounded by people that I had no business being surrounded by. I was in a relationship that was verbally abusive, emotionally abusive, and it caused me to have low self-esteem. It caused me to feel unworthy about myself. So I wasn't happy. I was depressed. I was sad. I didn't have any hope. I just thought that this was it. I was so unhappy that I didn't think that I could just leave. I thought that was my destiny. That is how life was going to be, because I chose to leave home. I chose to be with this person, and boom, here's my destiny. I messed up my life. It wasn't until, and people around me were telling me, it's time to leave, you need to go back home, yada, yada, yada. But I didn't feel worthy enough to even get to the door. I thought about leaving many times. I packed my clothes many times, got to the door, and wasn't happy enough to turn the knob. So I turned around, went back, and stayed in a relationship that wasn't serving me. And it wasn't until I found an ounce of happiness, and at that time, happiness was home. So I held on to the picture of home, and that got me to pack my bags. That got me to open the door, and that got me back to where I should have been all along. But I had to go through those experiences so I can sit here and tell you today that happiness is the key to life.
It's all about you. You're in control.
Relying on outside sources, relying on other people to make us feel happy is only temporary. We have temporary fixes to be happy.
In the womb, we actually receive transmissions from our mothers. So if our mothers are high in stress levels, we come out highly stressed. If our mothers are highly depressed, we actually pick up on that and we come out depressed.
I like the word joy, because to me, being joyful is happiness. When you're happy, you look happy, you feel happy, you say happy things. We all want to be happy. If you ask anybody, what do you want out of life? I bet you everybody's gonna say, I want to be happy. They may say money, but they're telling you what will make them happy.
And happiness for each person is different. For some people, money and personal belongings couldn't make them happy. For some people, a walk in the park on a beautiful day makes them happy. Each person's happiness is different, but is based on 3 separate things. The first need is our basic need. Our basic need for food, our basic need for clothing, our basic need for a roof over our head. Basic needs. Once these basic needs are met, then it leads to our psychological needs. And what are these? Now think about it for a second. If everything else around you is met, you start thinking about things. You start wondering, well, if I could have this, then I would be happy. If I felt like this, then I would be happy. If I got treated like this, then I would be happy. If this person greeted me like this, then I would be happy. Your psychological needs, that's the second. Your last is your self-fulfillment. Self-fulfillment is reaching the highest example of yourself, the highest, however you feel, that peak of, I did it, this is where I'm at, I can't go any higher, I'm in alignment with everything. Self-fulfillment. These are the 3 needs that Maslow's hierarchy states. When these 3 needs are met, we're at our highest state of happiness. Therefore, we have an amazing life.
Isn't it funny how when we don't feel happy, how we exaggerate that feeling? But we never exaggerate our happiness. We exaggerate our sadness. We exaggerate our anger. But what would happen if we decided to exaggerate our happiness?
But mothers, I need you to understand something. 50% of the happiness is genetic, and guess where it comes from? It comes from how we feel when we're pregnant. It comes from how we react when we're pregnant. When we fear, our child fears. When we're angry, our child is angry.
What really, truly makes you smile? That's what's gonna make you happy. Reach for it. Do it. Don't worry about what anybody else is gonna think, because that's not gonna make them happy. They have their own happiness to search for. Stay true to you and what makes you happy.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for coming to Ascending to New Heights. We've got 8 minutes before we get started, and I know you are ready. And just so you know, our speakers speak much better when they can see your beautiful faces. So we would love to see you. This is our kickoff event for WonderCon that's coming in March. And if you don't know, we've got some speakers. They are very good at what they do. Come on, y'all, let's set the atmosphere in this place. Many a surprises coming out. We'll also be raising $30. Grace put the Cash App out into the chat. We'll be raising $30. It's a surprise bonus. I don't know who would bring the most guests, but I do know I have another surprise. We are in the process around here in Density 6 of spoiling our employees. They don't mind being spoiled. Bubble baths and champagne. Doors being open. Chefs cooking. Kids cleaning up behind themselves. You know, you get older. Kids cleaning up behind themselves is a form of spoiling. Just saying. We're raising $30 a day. The Cash App is out. I'm going to give you the surprise. Antonio has been secretly working on something, and it's almost done. And the first thing we're going to do is dedicate the proceeds to creating salaries for these spoiled people around here. I would tell you what it is, but I'm going to delay for 1 minute because I like the music of this countdown. We'll tell you after this commercial break. If we raise... No, it's okay. If we raise... You know what, Deanna, how much should we raise? We'll let you say it.
Heck, let's go for 50.
If we raise $50, 50, we raise $50, 50. Antonio is going to build, well, release far earlier than expected. Burn Chat. It will be our first software as a service. It's called Burn Chat by Density 6. Would y'all like to know about it?
Yes.
It's the future of intelligent, secure messaging. Burn Chat is not just an app. It is a sentient digital guardian designed to think on behalf of its users, ensuring unparalleled protection of their data and their privacy. Burn Chat is powered by Insinca AI, invented by Antonio, the dude with the smooth, raspy voice. It has full of AI and deep learning. Every time you type, it learns you. And it's full of one feature, most importantly, self-destructing messages. A new chat that does not save in the database. So secure, it has a sentient AI interface that learns from your interactions, has a tailored message experience, even will write messages upon your needs, anticipate your needs, even suggest actions for you, even automate tasks for you, while ensuring your conversations remain private. It also has self-destructing messages. True to its name, Burn Chat specializes in burn after reading. This means that all your messages will be secure, It means that the company does not store your information. It means that after someone reads your messages, it burns after a specific time that you set, or burn right upon reading, ensuring that there's no digital footprint left behind. So long are the days gone where companies take your information, and then you mention headphones, and all of a sudden when you go on Facebook, you see a headphone from one of the big companies selling it to you. Multi-layered security and end-to-end encryption. You don't know what that means. I'll break it down for you. Can't nobody get in there. Can't nobody get out of there. Real-time multilingual support and customizable chat integrations. Sentient analysis and mental health support also comes with Burn Chat. The app itself analyzes the tone of your conversations and say, Grace, are you sure you want to send that? It analyzes the conversations and it says, Dion, it's a bit friendly. Are you sure we want to send that one? It doesn't just analyze the conversations. It also provides you mental health support and resources during the stressful times. It's a wonderful app. And if we raise $50, in which we don't need, but it's my way of making things fun and putting skin in the game. If we do this, Burn Chat to be out before the year is over. Worldwide, and it will take the world over by storm. I don't know if y'all know how many of y'all tired of people storing your information without your permission. There are no ads on Burn Chat, none whatsoever. No reselling of information, and when you delete a message, it deletes from the database itself. Even the company won't have it. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to raise $50 today, and we're going to donate this $50 to someone in need. And if we donate $50, just 50, we'll release this new app to the world, and all these people around here in Density 6 will be spoiled. Yes, absolutely spoiled. Besides, who doesn't want $1 million base salary? Okay, maybe these folk don't want that. That's okay. That's okay. In the last 10 seconds, Burn Chat has a business model that has a basic. It has basic, and then it also has a little paid premium for $5 a month. And then it has even all the way up to $200 a month. The basic, the free, there's a free subscription. Then there's a basic subscription for $10 a month. And then there is a pro subscription for $50 a month. And then there's an enterprise subscription starting at $200 a month. Talk about going. So we'll raise. Oh, and then there you go then. So someone's going to raise and send $50 to $50. I just got a message, the $50 is done. Send me the link. Grace, you need to send a link privately to, actually not you, because you're about to speak, Grace, you're first. So Deanna, you need to send a link privately to this person. This person, where's that? Where are you, Deanna? Where's your little pretty freckled face? There you go. There she is. And then we're sending this. We just helped somebody in need. Come on, y'all, put your hands together and clap for that, just like that. See what kind of company now? I am obligated now to put out an app way faster than what I wanted to do. How many of you understand that software as a service, a good one, will make you wealthy? Just another thing being donated around here to help everybody else out. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Density 6. This is our conference, and we have a bunch of conferences coming up that you should know. Just know that we do things big, and this is just one of those free things that we're doing. We're going to do 30 more events just for you. So I just want to let you know that we are absolutely happy to have you here. And if you can, just unmute your mics and y'all just make way too much noise. Love on each other. Let people hear you screaming and clapping and all sorts of stuff. Come on, let them hear y'all.
Woo,
Yes.
yeah.
There you go. There you go.
All right.
What's up?
Woo.
There you go. There you go. There
What's
you
up?
go.
What's up? What's up? What's
That's
up?
it. We are eternally grateful. Now, in this particular case, we didn't go in conference mode because we wanted to see everybody's faces and stuff. Remember, the speakers speak much better when they can see your faces, so they can interact with your face as they're speaking. We have 4 speakers coming up this particular evening or afternoon, and we have Grace. Then we have I won't give you the order, but we have Grace, we have Deanna, we have a surprise from Phil and Susan. And then we also have Jalen, who will all be speaking on our behalf. And then after that, we will party like it's 1999, and you can have a very, very good time. But I must tell you, as we get started, Deanna, let's take care of our needy person first. I mean, whoever we want to take care of, did you send that private message to that person? We'll just wait. We'll delay. We want to make sure that donation gets taken care of first. If you're just joining us, I said that we were going to raise $50 with today's event. I think I'm gonna do this every time. I think I'm gonna do every event. I'm gonna raise $50 and give it to somebody. I'm gonna raise $50 with this event. And I had a surprise because I've been building an app called Burn. It was called Rhino Leg Burn Chat. Now it's just Burn Chat. And we've been waiting a while, and Density 6 is going to release its very first software as a service before the year is out. That's a big deal. You know why that's a big deal? Because that's non-human money. That's non-client money. That's you log on to Facebook, log on to this app, being everywhere across the world at the same time, which absolutely will affect everybody's income. Just any link you call it, any link you want to, give to the needy, who cares? Call it any link that you want to. It's always reoccurring money. It sure is. Ladies and gentlemen, I have to welcome you all the way to Density 6, where our future office would be in Austin, Texas. And I have to tell you that while you are here, if you want to cut your cameras on, you can. If you want to keep them off, you can. But unlike our usual culture, as our speakers are speaking, just to keep yourself muted this time, and we're going to let them, they're actually doing keynotes, and this is a conference. It is with great excitement, and I mean great excitement, honor, a privilege it is that I introduce to you in a different way our very first speaker. You know you a bad motor scooter when you go first and are requested to go first, because she know how to set the tone. Her name is Grace Y.W. Sandals. There you go. I didn't put the whole thing out there. Grace Y.W. Sandals. She is our Chief Sales Officer at Density 6. She brings her extraordinary story of transformation and power, which she is about to share in her keynote that is called From Self-Doubt to Self-Assured. It's a guide of transformation. Grace's journey is a remarkable one. Let's not think of this as an introduction of a speaker, because this is TV. Let's think of this as a TV show, and let's draw out the beauty and goodness of Grace Sandals and all her glory. Grace's journey is a remarkable one. From her humble beginnings as a dedicated middle school teacher for 11 years, she embarked on a life-changing path that led her to retire from TV, teaching at the age of 37. This decision, fueled by her determination and guidance from her mentor, Antonio T. Smith Jr., must be a nice guy. It marked the beginning of an incredible life and new chapter for her. In her keynote, I've been told by a little birdie that Grace is going to guide us from a pivotal journey, from self-doubt to self-assurance. I've been told she's going to teach us how to understand the necessary mind shifts and share real personal stories of triumph to inspire and resonate. I've also been told that her talk not only promises to not be inspirational, but practical, so we get to walk away with something good. As she steps in her light of self-assurance, Grace is not just a leader in the field, she is my friend. So if you can, I'm gonna need you to put your hands together as we bring my very good friend to the stage, Grace Sandals.
From self-doubt to self-assured, a transformation guide. Imagine standing at the edge of a vast, dense forest. The trees loom tall and foreboding, their shadows casting long, dark patterns on the ground. This forest is not just a landscape. It's a living, breathing embodiment of your deepest self-doubts and fears. Each tree is gnarled and twisted, inscribed with the haunting whispers of, I can't. I'm not good enough. What if I fail? The canopy is so thick that it blocks out most of the sunlight, creating a perpetual twilight that chills your bones. As you stand there, the edge of this forest feels like the brink of an abyss. The air is heavy with apprehension, the silence punctuated by the eerie rustle of leaves. This forest is a place you know all too well, a labyrinth of your own making, where you've wandered lost in a tangle of uncertainties and self-imposed limitations. But today, something is different. Today, you take a deep, steadying breath, feeling a flicker of something powerful stirring within you, a determination that feels both foreign and familiar. With a resolve that surprises even yourself, you step into a forest. Your first steps are cautious, but with each stride, your confidence grows. The journey isn't easy. The underbrush is thick, brambles catching at your clothes, trying to hold you back. Each step is a battle, a fight to silence the cacophony of doubt. But you push forward, driven by a newfound strength. With each tree you pass, with each barrier you overcome, you're slowly carving a path through this once impenetrable forest. As you delve deeper, the suspense builds. The forest seems to grow denser, the trees taller, their whispers louder. But with every step, you're cutting down these trees of doubt, not with a physical axe, but with the sheer force of your will. You're no longer just walking. You're on a mission, a quest to reach the other side. This journey is not about eradicating self-doubt completely. Such a feat might be impossible. Instead, it's about learning to navigate through it, to understand it, and to conquer it bit by bit. You're not just seeking a way out. You're forging a path towards something greater, a clearing where the light of self-assurance shines bright. As you press on, the suspense heightens. Will you make it through? Can you overcome the gnarled roots of your fears? This is no ordinary walk in the woods. It's a transformative journey from the enveloping shadows of self-doubt to the welcoming light of self-assuredness, a thrilling and suspenseful adventure where the hero, you, is on a quest for the great treasure of all, self-belief and confidence. I'm a teacher, always will be a teacher, even if I'm not in the classroom. So, gonna give you the outline and objective of what we're gonna be talking about today. Okay, start to finish, the journey from self-doubt to self-assurance, understanding the mindset shift, real stories, real triumphs, practical steps toward assuredness, the beautiful domino effect, embracing the journey and overcoming setbacks, the true meaning of self-assurance, and last but definitely not least, stepping into the light of self-assurance. So let's get started. The journey from self-doubt to self-assurance. Welcome, dear listeners, to a journey that paves the way from the tangled thickets of self-doubt to the sunlit pastures of self-assurance. Excuse me. The path to confidence isn't always a straight line. It's a trail of transformation, a mindset shift that's as much about belief as it is about action. So in understanding the mindset shift, let's start by acknowledging that chronic self-doubt isn't just a passing cloud. It's a constant companion for many. It often whispers negativity, clouds judgment, and paralyzes action. But fear not, for understanding its roots is the first step toward overcoming it. Unearthing the psychological implications helps in detangling the web it weaves in our minds. The very first thing you have to do into overcoming these fears and the self-doubt and going into self-assuredness is find out where the fear stemmed from, because you were not born with that fear. Whatever it is that you fear, we're born with fear of heights. We're not born with fear of whatever it is that you have. I'll tell you right now. Okay. So you have to find out where the fear stemmed from, who gave you the fear, and who made you responsible for the fear. Now, self-doubt can impact on individuals' thoughts, emotions, and behavior. So here are some key psychological aspects of self-doubt. And if I turn into your driveway, just go ahead and just put a hand up. Okay. My hand will be up for most of these. Okay. First one, negative self-talk. How many of us have suffered or are suffering with that? Okay. So self-doubt often manifests through negative self-talk, where people engage in critical and pessimistic internal dialogue. This always happens to me. This never works out for me. I can't win for losing. I know this is not going to happen. This is not going to turn out good for me. Negative self-talk. Constant self-criticism contributes to a diminished sense of self-worth and can reinforce feelings of inadequacy. Here's another one. Fear of failure. Got my hand up first. Okay. Anybody else? Got my hand up first. Fear of failure. Okay. Self-doubt is closely linked to the fear of failure, where individuals question their ability and anticipate unsuccessful outcomes. So fear of failure can lead to avoidance behavior, preventing individuals from taking risks or pursuing opportunities. I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one in here who have been stopped in their tracks when they said, I'm going to do this. And then something happened in your brain which says, man, what if this happens? And then you just get stuck. Yeah, you freeze. Okay. So that's that fear of failure. That's where that self-doubt comes in, and that fear of failure. Okay. Another one I got to put my hand up for: comparison and social evaluation. That's me. Okay. People experience self-doubt. Who experience self-doubt, they may engage in frequent comparison with others, leading to social evaluation and perceived inferiority. Constant comparison can erode self-esteem and contribute to a sense of not measuring up to a societal or personal standards. My biological big sister is on the conference today. I love you, sissy. Thank you for coming on. And if you have an older sibling, or if you are the older sibling, you recognize that the younger sibling always wants to hang with the older sibling because you want to be like them. Okay. Okay. All the time. Okay. And there's all the times when Steph said, hey, you got friends, go hang with them. But okay. So, but whenever I got compared with my big sister, I didn't get compared. I compared myself to my big sister, and I was like, man, Steph is a favorite. She get everything. Now, in turn, if I let her have the bike, she'd probably say the same thing about me, with our parents. But the point is, constant comparison will lead to that self-doubt, because you have to know who it is that you are and not compare yourself to others, because if you were like everybody else, this whole world would be bored. Okay. Next one, I got to put my hand up again. Perfectionism. Okay. Perfectionism. Okay. I don't suffer from this as much. I am getting better. Okay. Perfectionism involves setting unrealistically high standards and being overly critical of one's performance. Perfectionism can fuel self-doubt by creating a constant sense of falling short of unattainable goals. Every time Antonio asks me to do something, and my brain is, I got to do this perfectly because I can't let him down. It got to be perfect. And I have to learn, hey, there are going to be some times where you mess up. You're human. It happens. Okay. So, and he wouldn't trust you. He wouldn't ask you to do anything that he wouldn't trust you to put in your hands, as anybody would do. All right. Here's another one. Imposter syndrome. Okay. Imposter syndrome. Here we go. Imposter syndrome is characterized by persistent feelings of inadequacy despite evidence of competence. People with imposter syndrome often downplay their achievements, attributing success to luck rather than their abilities. Okay. Listen, I've seen, okay. You see his head now. He tells us that he suffers from this a lot. Okay. And so people with imposter syndrome, anytime you congratulate them on something great that they did, oh Jalen, congratulations, they oh man, I just got lucky, but thank you. No, yeah, imposter syndrome. They're feeling that inadequate. What you have is in you, and that's your gift. So that's something else that we have to work on. Okay, here's another one. Roots in past experiences. Roots in past experiences. Okay, yeah, okay. Self-doubt can stem from negative experiences such as past failures, criticisms, or rejection. Unresolved issues from the past can influence current perceptions, creating a cycle of self-doubt in new situations. Case in point, something has happened to you years ago, and you took out your personal Bible that you write in, and you write a new verse. What I'm not going to do is this ever again, because I didn't like the way I feel when Pastor Tony criticized me. I did not like that. So I'm never going to do that again. Okay. But then when somebody else comes and that happens again and somebody criticizes you, no, then you start to doubt yourself. Well, maybe I can't do this. When people are really just trying to help you, maybe give suggestions. Dependence on external validation. Dependence on external validation. Relying excessively on external validation for one's self-worth. Constantly seeking approval from others can lead to fragile sense of self-esteem, making people susceptible to self-doubt when external validation is lacking. So every time that you're seeking for validation from on the outside of you and instead of within, people are gonna let you down every time. If we can just realize everybody is not going to approve of whatever it is you're doing. Your dreams and goals and desires and aspirations. They're your dreams, goals, desires, and aspirations. They're not mine. So if I don't give you the approval that you're seeking, it's because the gift wasn't given to me. The dream wasn't given to me. It was given to you. So go with it and approve yourself. Okay. When they say I'm Grace Sanders and I approve this message. Yeah, go approve your dreams, goals, and desires. Okay. Now, real stories, real triumphs. Let's meet James, a once hesitant entrepreneur whose journey from self-doubt to self-assurance was a roller coaster ride. His story isn't one of instant triumph, but a series of small victories. By constantly challenging his doubts and persistently stepping out of his comfort zone, he transformed his uncertainties into fuel for his success. James's story acts as a torchbearer, illuminating the path for all of us. So for James, with his story, with his challenges, with his self-doubt, he constantly challenged himself and challenged his doubts. Whenever a doubt came up, okay, no, we're going to overcome this. No, I can do this. And he persistently stepped out of his comfort zone. That is the answer. You must step out of your comfort zone. Anytime you're doubting yourself, okay, that means it's time to step out. That means you're going in the right direction. If you're doubting yourself, you're going in the right direction. Man, should I really do it? Yes, you should. Okay, if it has to do with anything that is on your list of dreams, goals, desires, and aspirations, you've got to take that step of faith out, because outside of your comfort zone is where all the success is. Success is never on the inside of your comfort zone. No, it's because you know it. You got to go to what you don't know. It's called the land of unfamiliar. You got to go to the land of the unknown so that you can go and get that success that you desire. As for our practical steps toward assurance, let's talk about action right now. Building confidence isn't about a magic potion, but rather a series of deliberate steps. So begin with affirmations. Tell yourself daily, I am capable, I am worthy. Tell yourself that every day. It might feel odd at first, which it will, but over time, these affirmations become the building block of self-assurance. Another effective tool is visualizing success. Right now, just for a few moments, close your eyes and envision yourself achieving your goals. This practice not only boosts confidence, but also primes the mind for success. The key here is to understand that confidence is a skill that can be honed. It's like a muscle. The more you exercise it, the stronger it becomes. I remember watching The Secret, and there was a section in there where they were talking about a gentleman who was emailing his professor. and was telling him all the things that was going on. Now, this gentleman in this story, he happens to be a gay man. He was a stand-up comic, and he worked at an office, doing office work at a cubicle. And so it showed he was emailing his professor and letting him know all the bad things, the horrible things that was going on with him. The people at work were messing with him, and because he was gay. When he went and did his stand-up comedy, people heckled him in the audience. When he was walking home from wherever he was coming from, he got bullied. And so his professor told him, hey, look at all the things you just told me in this email. Everything is negative. He said, what I want you to do is visualize yourself with the way you want things to happen. And they showed him, I think he was either in a tree or on a lawn at a park, but he closed his eyes and he was envisioning himself with the way he wanted his life to go. And as he continued to do that on a consistent basis, things started to happen that he started to visualize. When he went to work, the people that were messing with him either moved to a different department of the company, or they left altogether. When he went to do his stand-up comedy, he got a standing ovation. When he walked home, nobody bullied him. And it's all because he was visualizing how he wanted his success to be. And so visualizing really does work. If you ever notice, just think about all the great things you have in your life, all the great milestones that you have in your life. If you bought a house, if you have a car, if you graduated from college or graduated from anywhere, you have your dream, the job of your dreams, or whatever it is, that business of your dreams, you visualize that first. You have to, because your body can't go where your mind doesn't go first. The beautiful domino effect. Here's the beauty of self-assured living. It creates a domino effect. As you gain confidence, your energy changes, your interactions improve, and your relationships transform. It's like a pebble creating ripples in a pond, affecting every facet of your life. Now, as the motivational speaker and author Zig Ziglar said, confidence is going after Moby Dick in a rowboat and taking the tartar sauce with you. Listen, if that is not trust and confidence in yourself, I don't know what it is. Okay, you taking tartar sauce with this big whale. Captain Ahab knew. Okay, he wasn't coming back without defeating Moby Dick. This quote encapsulates the essence of self-trust and the boldness it breeds. For embracing the journey and overcoming setbacks as you venture forth on this transformative journey, remember that it's okay to stumble. Please remember that it's okay to stumble, because we all will do it. We have done it. It's okay to have moments of uncertainty, because they will come, because we don't know everything. We don't know what's going to happen down the road. What matters is that you keep moving forward, one step at a time, embracing the belief that you are more than capable. Antonio has said more than one time that moving forward solves all problems. If you keep moving, what you want will come. Keep moving forward. Keep taking those steps, one step at a time, but don't stop moving. The true meaning of self-assurance, the journey from self-doubt to self-assurance, is not about attaining a flawless confidence, for such a thing doesn't exist. Here we go. Such a thing does not exist. It's about the progress, the growth, and the genuine improvement in the way we perceive ourselves. It's about building a relationship of trust with ourselves. Now, stepping into the light of self-assurance. Self-assurance is not the absence of doubts. It's the courage to act despite them. I'll say that again. Self-assurance is not the absence of doubts. It's the courage to act despite them. It's about embracing the journey, celebrating your progress, and believing in the resilience of your spirit. So, with that, take heart, dear listener, and step into the light of your own self-assuredness. One moment. Had to get that. Now, envision yourself taking that final, decisive step out of the forest's shadow, emerging into a clearing where the sunlight pours down like liquid gold. Before you stretch is a vast open field, its expanse shimmering under the skies as your canvas. This field is not just a landscape, it's a radiant symbol of your journey to self-assurance. Each blade of grass, each wildflower swaying in the gentle breeze represents a possibility, a dream waiting to be realized. As you step into this sun-drenched field, the dense trees of doubt that once loomed so large are now just a part of the scenery behind you. They're no longer obstacles, but milestones, silent testaments to your resilience and strength. You pause for a moment, turning back to gaze at the path you forged through the forest. It's a winding, intricate trail marked by struggles overcome and fears faced. The sight of it fills you with a profound sense of accomplishment. Feeling the warmth of the sun on your skin, you're struck by a powerful realization. Self-assurance isn't a fixed point on a map. It's a dynamic state of being. Dynamic state of being. A journey that ebbs and flows. The field you stand in is not a utopia free from doubt, but rather a space where you learn the art of harmonizing with it. Here in this sunlit haven, doubt does not vanish. It transforms, becoming a partner in your dance of life. You take a deep breath, the air sweet with the scent of new beginnings. The field around you is alive with energy, every corner inviting exploration and adventure. This is the landscape of your newfound self-assuredness. A place where you step forward is imbued with intention and clarity. You've not just reached a destination, you've embarked on a new, exhilarating chapter of your life's journey. Standing tall, your gaze fixed on the horizon, you embrace this moment of triumph. Every challenge you've faced, every tree of doubt you've had to confront and navigate has led you to this pinnacle of empowerment. This is more than just your journey from self-doubt to self-assuredness. It's a testament to the indomitable spirit that resides within you. As you prepare to stride forward into this field of endless possibilities, your heart swells with courage and conviction. The journey ahead is uncharted, a path sprinkled with both challenges and triumphs, but you're ready. With your head held high and a heart full of unwavering courage, you step forward, ready to embrace whatever comes your way with the grace and confidence of one who has truly mastered the art of turning self-doubt into self-assurance. My name is Grace Yvonne Williams Sandals, and I will see you at the top, not from the top.
All right, come on, y'all put your hands together for my friend Grace. Yes, she kicked this off. She's such a consummate professional. And even while her allergies was trying to choke her to death, she kept on going. This is how we do it around here. Praise God for water when you need it. Yes, come on, one more time, y'all give Grace a good round of applause. I learned so much information. So much information. Let me tell you, that imposter syndrome is real. And imposter syndrome is real. Next up, we're going to have a special feature from Phil and Susan. However, I am going to show you some of the things that we are doing around here. We've recently went out to Mexico and stuff and shot a whole film and stuff. And Grace said her big sister is here. And her big sister is one good person. So shout out to Grace and having her family here. It was a very good job, Grace. Very, very good job. So right now we've got apps coming out. It's all of you should know it feels good. It feels real good when all your hard work pays off. Who knows what I'm talking about? When everybody tells you to do the opposite of what you feel in your soul, and everybody tells you whatever that could be, you stick to your guns, and then it finally comes through, and it finally pays off, and it's finally a good thing there. So all of that is happening right now. In the meantime, we want to show you a little something about what we can do and what's coming. And then right after that, this couple of minutes, we'll have Phil and Susan.
People that they can still live this life and be utterly human, have the human experience. There is no reason why I can't be the good witch and be Sheena.
I wake up, flex, thumb down now, check, no drip this, wet. Tell them run it up, no sleep, no rest, might crash, might wreck, but first I stretch, tell them run it up. I wake up, flex, thumb down now, check, no drip this, wet. Tell them run it up, no sleep, no rest, might crash, might wreck, but first I stretch, tell them run it up. 9 out of 10 roll through my hands, I'm by my lonely. Turned to a savage, now my baby wants to hold me. I love my fans, don't need no friends, I got my homies. Thought I could trust you, I find out you tried to zone me.
Y'all can't see the rest. You can't see the rest. You gotta get it on Sports Center, y'all, okay? Get it on Sports Center. Sorry about that. Get it on Sports Center. It is my esteemed pleasure. I got my friends. These are my real friends here. The rest of these friends is fake. These are my real friends. No, that's all a joke. I'm just kidding. My distinct honor for TV and TV land. I gotta tell y'all about these two people named Phil and Susan Sorrentino. I would say it's a distinct honor, but that's too small, because these folk are the original humor consultants. And today they have joined us for a very special occasion. I won't tell you, I'll let you see it what it is. But Phil and Susan, they've carved a unique angle and niche for themselves in the world of consulting, blending humor with the impactful solutions across nearly every industry imaginable, including Density 6, as they are our chief experience officers. They are not just consultants, they are coaches. They're not just innovators, they are coaches. They're not just coaches, they are coaches. Their approach to counseling and consulting and coaching, it aids individuals and organizations and tackle issues of self-motivation and change. Their journey since the beginning of time has been an inception of greatness, but specifically on planet Earth. They started in 1981, and it's been nothing short of remarkable, with a mission to create results through enjoyable solutions and the vision to assist in the enjoyment of everything. They have touched every life that has come in the sphere of their influence. What truly makes Phil and Susan truly what is remarkable is they teach the challenge and the power of fun and enjoyment at work. They've been known as growth, profit, enjoyment advisors, and they are my super good friends. So without further ado, you need to inappropriately unmute your microphones, clap as loud as you can to where it cancels us out. And y'all need to give praise, honor, and doxology for Phil and Susan Sorrentino. Come on.
Woohoo! Yeah, let's go.
All right.
Yes,
All right.
got to do it for TV. Do it for the TV. Phil, thank you so much for being here. Our audience is asking, how did you meet me?
Oh, how did we meet you, Antonio? All right. Well, we met when Phil and I were working with Les Brown, and we had a real connection with you, Antonio, from the beginning. I was assisting his team with personal and professional development, and Phil and I started teaching and coaching his team with Les Brown. Antonio and I both are very strategic. After Antonio saw Phil speak, he wanted him to be the old pro in the locker room.
That is absolutely true. I'm laughing because I remember telling Serena, if you don't hire Phil, I will. I remember saying that. Phil, which is a great segue to you. And you're the bad boy of the bunch, the old pro in the locker room. How did you meet Susan?
Oh, that was a good story. I met her at a hot tub party at the judge's house in Waverly, Ohio. Population 8,000 people. I was selling bank stock there, and they were saying all during the week they were putting us together, and met her at a hot tub party and saw her, and it was love at first sight.
Love at first
Yeah,
sight.
I heard about him all week. You know, this guy came to town, you know, all dressed in his nice looking clothes, and everyone was talking about him, and they were putting us together before we even met. They just like, wow, I know this girl for you. I know this guy that's in town, you know. And so I went to this party with my brother. I had just got back in town after living on Cape Cod for the last couple of years. So my brother said, you know, let's go to this party on the lake. It was right on the lake. So we get there late. We walked into the screen porch, and I said, who's that, to my brother? And it was Phil. Right off, I mean, the very first thing was meeting him. And I had already heard about him, and he had heard about me. And then bang, first thing I walked in the door, he was standing there. So the rest of the night, you know, I didn't talk to anybody else. We talked all evening. We sat out on the boat and talked, and the rest is history.
I gave her a foot massage. The first part of her body I touched was her feet. I gave her a foot massage, and then I worked my way up from there, if you know what I mean. Wink, wink.
That sounds like Phil. That sounds like you for sure. So Phil, before I ask another question, I want to ask a little sub question in here, what I just think is too funny. So did you like connect with God and put all those strings together and make sure she was hearing about you first before, or did you set all that up, or it just happened to be?
It just happened to be.
That's nice. That is nice. That's real nice. Well, I guess we gotta ask another question here. How about you all share with us how the Humor Consultants got started? Let's go with you first, Phil. How did the Humor Consultants get started first?
Well, let me tell you my story, and then that'll tell you.
I love it.
That makes sense. First of all, I didn't become Italian until I was 20 days old. I was adopted. That's when I became Italian. That's when I made my first sale, was 20 days. It was all eye contact and body language. Although my dear Sicilian mother said she picked the one next to me and they gave her the wrong baby. Don't. Buyer's remorse. I get a call about 20 years ago. Is this Phil Sorrentino? Yes. Were you born on August 1st, 1951? Yes. Where was Reunite? We put adopted families together. You have a sister that wants to talk to you. Are you interested? I said, well, Cheers is starting. Can I call you back? I found out I'm one of 7 kids on my biological mother's side. I'm her third by the time she was 18 by 3 different guys. Mother. Well, now I know where I get my sex drive. I get my biological mom on the phone for the first time in my life. I said, Mom, I've always teased I was conceived in the back seat of a Buick. She says, I don't remember what kind of car it was, but it was the back seat. Then my adopted sister died when I was 2. My adopted father died when I was 6. My adopted mother got into some challenging things when I was 9. I started to work when I was 11. I cleaned toilets for 80 cents an hour when I was 14. And I was 5'1" when I graduated from high school. I went out for football, but they already had one. But the past is the past is the past. There comes a time in every one of our lives we have to say to ourselves, I'm going to stop letting my past ruin my future and rob me of my present. So when I was in the bank stock business, and that's how I met Susan, I was selling bank stock in Waverly, Ohio. But when I was in the bank stock business, that was a husband and wife kitchen table conversation in the evening. I wasn't doing anything they were doing. I wasn't playing golf at the time. I'd play golf every day, but I wasn't playing golf at the time. So I went and talked to high schools on what I called living skills, goal setting, how to make decisions, problem solving, team building, communications, things, in my opinion, the schools weren't teaching us. I learned them because I had to, because I was out in the workaday world at a young age. I learned that, boy, that's what it takes to be success, not how do you bisect the hypotenuse of the right triangle. That doesn't do you any good. So from the age of 22 to 28, I spoke to high schools for free. And really, I spoke about sex, drugs, and money, and I knew about 2 of them. Then the president of bank in Mount Vernon, Ohio, calls me up and says, Phil, I hear you speak. What do you charge? I went, charge? what a great idea. So I said $25. He said, great. And I said to myself, I should have said 30. So that's how I got into the business. And when Susan showed up, her maiden name is Bolt. So she's the bolt and I'm the don't say screw, the nut. I'm the nut. And she was the one that she's the brains behind the company. I'm the show. If it wasn't for Susan, I'd be on a beach selling t-shirts. So she came in and did the structure, did the organization of the company, get us in the database, got into the technology. And that's where it started. We started in the fall of 81.
Okay, well, Susan, I didn't have to segue you. He did it for me. So, Mrs. Brains, how did you get started with the Humor Consultants?
Well, I had just come back from Cape Cod, and I was working for an international pharmaceutical company that discovered how to use the blood from horseshoe crabs for testing of pharmaceutical products. It replaced the rabbit test. So they went international very quickly. And I would meet with the international people coming in and presented at events that they held for the company and set up systems for all the departments. So that experience there, I was setting up systems for them. I was doing some speaking for them. So I was confident in those skills at that time and was in a really good place. So what we did is we put our talents and skills together, like Phil said, when we started Humor Consultants. And it's been an enjoyable ride. I'm telling you, there's been a lot of ups and downs. We've had children, lots of things going on. So, we've traveled the USA working with clients in every state except North Dakota and Vermont. And we've been in front of over 1 million people.
Wow.
With our message. And most of my speaking that I have done, I was involved in a lot of different women's organizations. So I spoke at those things. That was my comfort zone, speaking in front of women, and really enjoyed that. And all the networking that we did out mainly in Ohio until we moved down to Florida.
Wow. You were also one of the first people to master the personal computer, and I believe you brought that into the Humor Consultants as well. Is that correct? Yes.
I was a troubleshooter for the country for banks. Banks were getting, we were working with someone that actually sold the banks the program, and then I did all the setup and training and working with the bank presidents to learn how to do that. And he would have a few of his people in there with him too. So yes, I did that. And then I trained them and set them up. And then any issues they had along the way, I was troubleshooting them. So that was a real gift for me to be ahead of the curve in that part of technology.
Well, I mean, it wasn't just a gift for you, it was a gift for Phil too, as he already admitted that you're the brains. So
yeah, we actually, it was called Merlin Information Systems. And it was an Apple II that they upgraded to 64K. It had this big NCR printer that was boom, 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 boom. And it was a $15,000 sale to the banks. It was the first personal computers went into community banks in Ohio.
Amazing. That's amazing. So Humor Consultants has been all around the country. So I have been at the forefront of technology and humor consulting since the beginning of what we know as technology and computers. That's amazing. Phil, let's travel back in time for a little bit, both in this interview and on planet Earth. You mentioned speaking to high school students. So what made you want to speak to high school students? That's pretty interesting.
Well, because I learned things because I had the opportunity to work and school wasn't teaching them. I felt this was a great opportunity for me to share my message and to help them. And what I would do is I would ask the teacher, have them write in a little note what they got out of my speech. And then the next day, when they come in, have them write out a little note. And then I would get those notes. And I had like hundreds of notes from these kids about some of them would tear your heart apart when you read them. But what they got out of my presentation, it was very special.
That's solid. That's solid. Let me switch to Susan real quick. Susan, how has the Humor Consultants evolved over the years?
Well, we started out with just the two of us, and we built it to have 3 other speakers plus Phil, because there were times when we would be triple booked. And if they were local events, we knew which speakers to put in for events if Phil was triple booked. So that worked out really well. And we really helped these speakers, and we got them to a point where they could go out on their own, and they're doing very well today.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
So they're still doing well. Okay, good. Go ahead, Phil.
Yeah, I'll never forget when somebody called me up and they wanted me to speak, and I was already booked, and they changed their meeting so they could have me. I said to myself, I might have a future in this business. And they were willing to change their meeting so they can have me. I said, I might have something here.
You got something there for sure. Yeah, you got something there for sure. Well, Phil, so let's have you answer the same question. How has, from your perspective, how has the Humor Consultants evolved over the years?
Oh, it's been an incredible journey. But we got here by focusing first of all in Central Ohio, because I like to sleep with my wife, and if I'm going to pay for my kids, I want to play with them.
Yeah, that makes
then
sense.
Ohio, there's 11 million people in Ohio. We can't drive for 3 where we live. We could not drive for 3 hours in any direction and still be in the state. In fact, you can drive for 3 hours in Houston.
Yes.
So that's how. So everything, all the speaking engagements we got outside of Columbus, Ohio, we got through word of mouth. We did no marketing outside, but Columbus, Ohio, I focused on that. I was on the top FM radio station for 6 years, every Monday morning. Every one of the outlets, ABC, NBC, and CBS, the local had me at one point on one of the news shows or something. And we just focused that, become a mini celebrity in Columbus, Ohio, and then grew it from there. Now what you got in technology, I mean, it's crazy what's going on. I mean, just what we're doing tonight, we couldn't do this. 10 years ago, we couldn't do what we're doing tonight. We'd be into 3 different locations doing this. So the technology has changed. The need for our message is as great as it's ever been. So that's one thing we're excited about. And let's face it, working with you, you're bringing us to a level that we haven't been. We know we couldn't do it on our own.
Yeah, no, I'm very grateful. In fact, that's I'm going to bring that back up after this. I want to bring that back up as well. But Susan, I've got to ask a question here. Actually, you know what, Phil? Let me ask you a question, because I remember you saying a while ago how I used to have advertisements on top of the cars before anybody else would do it. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, Harvey McKay wrote a book, How to Swim with the Sharks. Okay, and one of the things, he had an envelope company in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and he put the name of his company on the top of every one of his trucks, because he says if you were from second floor Ohio higher in any building and you look down, the only message they'd see is the name of his trucks, as nobody else has their name on the top of their truck. So I had a humor consultant mobile. It had humor consultants on the side. It had Make It Fun in the back. It had my cell. Remember, I had people call me as I was driving around. I made my car a moving billboard, and I got one of my biggest contracts. I was playing golf, and this president of this LCI, which was a big phone company in the area, he saw the truck and called me. So I got one. I definitely know I got that one big contract from it. So it just being creative out there, just figuring out, you teach us, the first thing we need to do is get their attention. So whatever you can do to get somebody's attention,
get the humor consultants. That's it. Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. And just to point out to our audience, you all were one of the first to ever do it. It's normal now, but we're talking way back in the 80s and stuff. Susan, I want to ask you 2 questions back to back. I want to go back in time in the interview when you were talking about how things evolved and how it started, but you mentioned having children during the process. Can you educate the women that would be listening to us about how you even made that happen? Because to me, as a man, that just seems impossible, to be in business for 42 years and have children that are like healthy. How did you pull it off?
Well, when we traveled, we took them with us a lot of times. We had several occasions where they paid for all of our children to go with us. And, they got to travel around and see places they never would have seen and do things they never would have been able to do. But I had someone that would come in and stay with them when I would travel with Phil. And there were times that I didn't travel and I stayed with them. So when they were not in school, actually we started them in a great little school that was an international school. And so they got to go there at a very early age. And that really helped. So I think they were there when they were 2 years old starting out. So, I took the time with the kids, but then they got to experience kids from all over the world where they went to school, and they had a lot of fun doing that. And I think it's really helped them to where they are today, to be in the place that all of them are in today.
Yeah, it sure sounds
May I-
like it.
May I
Yeah,
brag
go
a
ahead,
little
Phil.
bit about him?
Please do.
Chad, our oldest, just retired from the Army, 21 years. He's a master sergeant. He was involved in the Battle of Fallujah. When he graduated from Fort Leonard Wood as an MP, we went to his graduation. They canceled the graduation because the war just broke out. They put him in a bus, put him to Fort Bragg, it's Fort Liberty now, and sent him over. He showed up on Saturday, and the Battle of Fallujah was like Tuesday.
Wow.
So he did 2 tours of Iraq, was a drill sergeant for 2 years, was in charge of the SWAT team at Fort Knox, been all over, and then finally he was in charge of the first female general in the Army at Southcom. He was in charge of that, and he just retired a couple of weeks ago from there.
Wow.
And then
Absolutely.
Sarah Maria, she was 3 when we booked the book, Raising the Strong-Willed Child. She taught herself to read when she was 4. She graduated magna cum laude in politics from Ithaca College. She got her doctorate degree in culture and theory at the University of California, Irvine. And currently she's a professor of gender and race studies. You want to guess where? Where would be? Oh, she spent 2 years in Ghana living off her wits because she wanted to.
Wow.
She just went to Ghana and lived off her wits for 2 years. And can you want to guess what she's in charge of?
Please.
She's a tenured professor in gender and race studies. Guess where?
Where?
University of Alabama.
As southern as she can get.
University of
Any
Alabama,
more
in charge
south,
of the
she'd be in
gender
the
and race
water.
studies. Yeah, she's tenured. And then my youngest is a headhunter in DC and makes 6 figures.
Amazing. Well, that's a great job to brag about the kids. Susan, which is going to be a great segue for me to ask you. And I'm going to slow down here. I'm getting ready to ask you about what the audience is looking for in today's marketplace. But before I do that, I want to prepare our audience about what is the audience looking for in today's marketplace by letting them know that the human consultants, if they can't do anything else, they know how to pay attention to the audience and for between content and context and study on the marketplace. So Susan, what is the audience looking for in today's marketplace?
Well, I believe they're looking for customization, but in reality, everybody is dealing with the same issues, dealing with change, employee engagement, communication, increasing revenue, reducing cost, instilling self-motivation, and keeping up with technology.
That sounds, first off, that was a mouthful, but that sounds like all of it is the truth for sure. Phil, you want to add to that? What do you think the audience look for in marketplace?
They're looking for transparency,
yeah,
and being authentic. Pretty everybody else has their BS meter. They're pretty good. So people want you to be real. They want you to be transparent. They don't want you to be puffy or trying to say something that you're not.
That's true. That is absolutely true. That is absolutely true. Well, you both of you have worked with many clients, Og Mandino, Les Brown, Antonio T. Smith Jr., Exxon, AT&T, etc. And
Wayne Dyer, Paul Harvey,
Wayne Dyer, yes.
Art Linkletter.
Oh, man, just the list is astounding, and it does
Robert
go.
Schuler.
Man, it's you all are solid. So you've worked with many clients for all these years. What would be, Susan, we'll start with you. What would you say were some of your most memorable clients so far?
Oh, wow. There are really so many, but what comes to mind right now is the Oklahoma City bombing. The president of the Federal Credit Union, they were one of our clients. She was sitting at her desk at 9:02 a.m. on April 19th, 1995. having a staff meeting. Can you imagine? She had all her top people sitting around her desk with a staff meeting. And the next instant, she was blown out onto the ledge, and everyone else in the room perished. Imagine losing all your top reports, gone in an instant. At the same time, most of the things at that time were on paper, and we didn't have everything in the cloud. So they lost everything, all their documentation as well. And when we went there to visit with them, we stayed up to the wee hours of the night, and there were people there. Phil spoke during the day, and there were people, you know, wounded that came. People, the spouses of those that perished were there. They had them there as well to hear Phil's message. And like I said, we stayed up with them into the wee hours, just talking and talking. And I'll let Phil take it from there because he has more to say, I'm sure.
Phil?
Well, I'd given a presentation, and a man came up to me with tears streaming down his face. And I said, "Sir, what's going on?" He says, "I'm the vice president of the Federal Credit Union in Oklahoma City." I said, "Oh." I said, "How many staff did you lose?" He said, "Half of my staff were killed on April 19th at 9:02 in the morning." I said, "Sir, I'm a small company, but if you pay my expenses, I'll come and give you a freebie." He said, "You would do that?" I said, "Oh, it would be a gift." He says, "You talk a lot about your wife. You think she'd like to join you?" I said, "Well, yeah, she'd love to join me. Tell me that's something that tell me about him. I tried to give him something. What did he try to do? He tried to give me something back." And on August 19th, 4 months to the day, I was in front of the surviving spouses and employees of the Federal Credit Union in Oklahoma City, still in their neck braces, still in their crutches. And it was unbelievable. And my message was, 10 minutes after that bombing, people were risking their lives for people who 20 minutes earlier, they would have said hello in the sidewalk. People were running into that building as the debris was still falling to try to save somebody who yesterday went, "You stole my stapler."
That's facts.
So,
yeah.
Those are the little things. But that was an honor to be able to give those people feeling good and at least laughing and realizing, you know, you can get through this.
Yeah.
I've spoken to, when HIV was a death sentence, I would speak regularly at the HIV. People were just recently diagnosed with HIV. Everybody in my audience was just diagnosed with HIV 30 days.
Yeah.
I did a program for 8th grade to 22 years old, every one of them pregnant or with a child without a high school diploma. And I call that having fun with parenting and peace with yourself. And these are freebies. When people ask me what were my most memorable speeches, they're the freebies that I did for groups. They're not the ones where I got $12,500. Although that was a nice one. I can tell you about that one too. That's the story in itself.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know what? You said something there. My team did some great research on you all, but you just said something that sparked something in my brain. Not only was HIV a death sentence, but it was a cultural death sentence as well. So it makes me realize how important humor is to society in the first place. So Phil, let's just stay with you for a moment. How important is it for today's society to infuse humor within it?
Well, it's a little interesting. Our definition of humor is kind of unique. Our son Chad.
Tell us all about it.
Our son Chad was in kindergarten. Now he's not a hanging Chad. He's not a rip Chad. He's not a Baghdad Chad. He's not a pregnant Chad. He's Baghdad Chad. So he was in kindergarten. They were talking about your 5 senses. So Chad raised his hand. He said, "What about your 6th sense?" And the teacher said, "Your 6th sense." And at the age of 5, he said, "Yeah, your ability to read other people's minds." In the parent-teacher conference, I went, "Yes." A tear formed in my eye. And I turned to Susan and I said, "He can't clean his room, but he's got this one right." And by the way, in the book Think and Grow Rich, which we recommend all the time, written in 1936, and they interviewed Henry Ford, John David Rockefeller, Theodore Roosevelt, William Jennings Bryan, Clarence Darrow, and gave principles for success. There's a whole chapter in this book called Your 6th Sense. But she was a great teacher. She said, "Chad, what about your 7th sense?" And Chad said, "Your 7th sense? And the teacher said, yeah, your sense of humor.
Wow.
So if you can agree that your sense of humor is your sense of perspective, then it's the combination, it's the distillation, it's a result of all the information that you process through your other six senses. So literally, your sense of humor is your attitude. So our message is, do you have a loving humor or a hateful humor? Do you have an encouraging humor or a discouraging humor? Do you have a forgiving humor or do you have a revengeful humor? What we really teach is the challenge, the power, and if you want it to be, the fun of free will.
That's powerful. Susan, I want to come to you twice in a row. I want you to tell us a story, then I want to ask you a question about coaching. But let's talk about a story first. You have this great story about you in San Francisco. Is this ringing a bell in your head? The story about you in San Francisco, about
yes.
Okay, yes. Tell me all about it.
Well, Ron Woolard, he was the manager of one of the most elite athletic clubs in Columbus, Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
And we
interrupt you real quick?
Yeah, interrupt there, Phil.
One of our successes, I happen to one of the most expensive suburban athletic club in Columbus, Ohio. This is the class where Bobby Rahal went. The mayor of Columbus was there. And that would really help my career. When I first started Humor Consultants, I was a member of that club and I got to be around all those people. And I can't tell you how much business I got out of it. So a little tip for you, find around people who can hire you. That's my business wouldn't be nearly what it became if I didn't. And Ron Woolard was the guy that hired me. And he's the guy that I would say, there's a guy that I want to do business with for the rest of my life. I'm sorry to say Ron passed a couple years back. But you want to be the kind of person people want to do business with you for the rest of their lives. And Ron was one of those people.
Absolutely. And that was a very powerful nugget you dropped. I never heard you say that before. Be around people who can hire you. That was powerful. Susan, tell us about San Francisco.
Well, that's part of the Ron Woolard story and his wife, Janet. When we were working with them at the club, they decided that we should go tour some of the top clubs in the country. And there were some top clubs in San Francisco. So we all flew out there, toured the clubs, met with the leaders there, and got some great ideas and came back and implemented them at this athletic club. And it was a great time for us. And it also makes me think of another story when we were in Hawaii, when you were talking about humor. Phil was going to be speaking that morning, and I decided I wanted to go walk on the beach. I'd heard him many times before, right?
That sounds like something you would say.
Yeah,
it's easy to find a new audience and make up a new speech.
So I went for this walk on the beach, and I'm coming back, and I'm getting to our location, which was this beautiful place, a resort. So I'm coming back and I'm seeing all these people gathering and they're like trying to look over. And I'm like, what is going on? What are they, looking at? So I go up there and everyone's that were not in the audience. These are people that were out on the beach and doing things. They heard Phil speaking because the speaker was loud out there. They could catch a little bit of it and they started gathering and more people came and I kept nudging my way up to see who it was. And it was Phil speaking. And so I thought, wow, this is really cool. So that was a memorable time.
Yeah, you was going to hear him no matter what that day.
Yeah,
for sure. Absolutely.
Steve Martin said, be so good they can't ignore you.
You know what? That's a great segue into my next question because you two are master coaches. I defer all coaching to you two. You're just far greater than I can ever be at it. Can you tell us, and I'll let whoever wants to go first, can you tell us what is it that you do in what we call coaching? Tell us a little bit about it in your style of it.
Well, I'll start out. We've been coaching clients and organizations for as long as we've been in business. We like to call it coaching. Phil likes to put a spin on things. So coaching, that's part consulting, part coaching. So we're coaches. And our coaching program comes out of our work smart, have fun, and make money, being strong during challenging times.
Okay, so Phil, I got two questions for you back to back. One, follow up on this, And then in that, after that, give us one of the greatest examples of coaching as far as transformation goes in someone's life or business. You can do both of them at the same time.
Me?
Yeah, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Give us your perspective on coaching, and then give us a great story about somebody or some business that you changed as well.
Well, we call this a coaching, and it's called Work Smart, Have Fun, and Make Money. And we get with people, and it all depends on the person. We like to do, sometimes we do a 90-day program, and we do an assessment to find out where their strengths are and what roles they need to be in their strengths. And then we do the 2-minute drill. I know, Antonio, you love the 2-minute drill.
I do. I really do. I really do. In fact, as a matter of fact, if you want to explain it, yeah.
Which takes 15 minutes. You have somebody get a piece of paper, and you say, I need you to have 3 sides. And the first side, it's a goal setting process that takes 15 minutes. So on one side of the paper, I want you to write lifetime goals, and I'll give you 2 minutes. In 2 minutes, I'll say, finish your thoughts. Then I go, now you either keep writing, eliminate, or embellish. Then I end it. Then I say, okay, now 3 to 5 years. I'm giving you 2 minutes. What do you want to accomplish in 3 to 5 years? I give you 2 minutes, and then I turn it off. And after 2 minutes, I say, now I'm going to give you 2 more minutes. Either continue writing, eliminate, or embellish. And then the last one, let's say we just found out in 6 years, you're going to transfer from physical to non-physical. You're going to die. Money is no object. How would you live the last 6 months of your life? 2 minutes. And then I stop it at the end of 2 minutes. I say, okay, I'm going to give you another 2 minutes. Either continue writing, embellish, or eliminate. And in less than 15 minutes, they thought of their big goals and reviewed them. They thought of their 3 to 5 year goals and reviewed them. And they've decided what's really important in your life and reviewed it. And that's the beginning that we use to coach. And we use the assessment and that real quick little snapshot to get them to set their goals to go from there. And then it's pretty much everybody's different. One success company, a company called me up. Guy had like 25 employees, and he was ready to shut down his business and quit. He said, this is ridiculous. He says, I can't take these guys anymore. Somebody says, and I knew him through Ron Willard. I knew him through the Club of Metro 5. And he says, I hear you can do some stuff. Can you help me? I said, well, I don't know. Let me come in and let's talk. So I talked. I ended up coaching his 5 executives and himself, and they saved the business. 5 years ago, they were bought out at 5 times earnings. The company that bought him out couldn't do what they do. And so he got to buy back his company at pennies on the dollar. And we wouldn't even have had a company if it wasn't for him coming to us and us helping him realign himself and really understand what running a business is all about. So it's really gratifying when you know that you touch people in lives at those parts, those areas. It makes you feel good about what you do.
Absolutely, it should. It should, and there's definitely many blessings up in heaven waiting for you too as well. I want to switch to some of your tangible things that your audience is going to, and our audience, is going to be able to see, because I got some books coming out. You definitely have some books coming out. Now, you all are fantastic. You're avid book readers, both of you. But this time you have several books coming out. Susan, I think I'm going to toss this question to you. Are you excited about the books? And if so, can you tell us what books are coming out?
Oh, wow. Yes, we are very excited to get this out there. People have been asking for this for a while, and we just finally felt it was the right time. And we've got one coming out soon and others in the works to come out too. The first one is called Leading with Fun, Infusing Joy and Laughter in Every Day. The second one is Humor, Your Key to Enjoying Your Work, Your Family, and Yourself. And this is the journey of us, the original humor consultants. So you're going to get how to enjoy your work, your family, and yourself. And then you're going to hear our journey through that. The next one is Total Life Enjoyment, Loving What You Do.
Great title.
Yeah.
24/7.
24/7.
Yeah, loving what you do 24/7.
Right.
And the next one, and Phil's really excited about this one, Coming to Work, Ready to Play, creating results through enjoyable solutions.
And I focus on why do sports teams, they're better run than business.
That is
so I take what they do in sports and equate it. How can you take what they do in sports and apply it to your business? And I'm really excited about that one. That's fun writing because I'm a big Buckeye. Woody Hayes came to Ohio State during the summer of '51. I became an orphan in Columbus, Ohio during the summer of '51. God was looking out for Ohio State during the summer of '51. Started selling popcorn in the stadium when I was 11. Went to Ohio State. Went to high school with Archie Griffin. I've spoken to the team a number of times. Kirk Herbstreit, if you're a college football fan, you were impressed by this. If you're not a college football fan, you have no idea what I'm talking about. But he worked in our office between his junior and senior year. I traveled with the team when we went up to Michigan and we lost 28-0. I go, now I know how Peter felt at the crucifixion. so we're getting on the bus. We're getting on the bus to come back. And Archie Griffin and I are hiding in the back of the bus thinking Coach Cooper's going to ask us to say something. So that's where we picked up. That's where I started saying, look what's going on in sports. Why can't we apply those lessons in business? And I'm really excited about what we're coming up with. It's really some cool stuff.
Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing. Susan, I don't even know if you can follow that, but here's your opportunity to do
it's
so.
always been hard to follow that. That's why I stuck with speaking to women's groups, and I really enjoyed that. I was involved on the committees on lots of big women groups in Central Ohio that were just great women, and I'm still in touch with them today. And then I got involved in the women's groups in Florida too. There are a lot of professional women in Florida. The other book we have, and Phil loves this one, it's all of our quotes.
Oh yeah,
our combined quotes, Phil's Philisms. And so that's going to be kind of like a fun book with little cartoons. So we're excited about that one.
I'm bound and determined to be cliche free, come hell or water, one day at a time, from my lips to God's ears. Something like that. I stepped all over. You have to get the book.
You gotta get the book and turn the page. Get the book and turn the page. Well, Susan, you've us three, we've become friends over time. And actually we were fast friends at first, and then we just kept getting deeper and deeper in our friendship, all three of us. And divine connection for sure. We've been together for a while. Will you tell our audience how long we've been together and what you do with me now, especially the new enhanced role as well, and just anything else along that line?
Well, first off, I'm still waiting for that $10,000 from that first experience that we had on the phone. I shared so much with you, and you said, man, I'd gladly pay you $10,000 for all this information you've given me.
Yeah, that was my first impression of you, and it should be $10 million impression for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, this is our 7th year working with Antonio and his team, and we're so excited to be the Chief Experience Officers with Density 6. And our role is to create the culture that reflects Antonio's vision.
That's powerful. That is so well said. That is so powerful. That's exactly what it is. And just, I want everybody, you don't need to know, but they have no restrictions. They don't need any. Friends don't need restrictions. They're going to do a far better job than I ever could. Phil, you want to follow up with that or follow up on that?
Well, yeah, we're modeling a lot of people that came before us. Tony Hsieh from Zappos. He wrote a great book called Delivering Happiness. And it's just a great way to run your businesses better and run them better. And Tony died in a smoke inhalation issue, but his book is unbelievable. It's a new way to run business. It's a way to treat people. It's a way to treat your customers. It's a way to treat your vendors. And we're going to infuse that into our organization here. And we're working with everybody individually. We're really becoming their coach for everybody.
Absolutely. I completely agree. Well, I just got one more question left, and it's a question that is it's not near and dear to me, but I really wanted to ask this question so the audience can see more about you. Plus, I want to hear the answer too. you all would be 100%, and that's 100% you would be responsible for making Density 6 both special and successful. There's no doubt about that. So when that happens, what does the future look like for the humor consultants after that happens? What's the future like after the success and the big old bucks? Go ahead. I want to hear that.
Go ahead, Phil.
Find another organization and help them.
Okay. That's good. I didn't see that one coming. I thought
Yeah.
on the beach somewhere or something. That's what I would have said. That's it. No, he's right though. That's a great Phil answer for sure. Susan?
Well, Phil, he never wants to stop. Neither one of us, we want to do humor consultants for the rest of our lives. That's just who we are. It's who we are. We can't help but not do that. So I want to just continue helping everyone at Density 6 and all the new people as they come in. And I know Phil wants to do that too. And we're just excited to see how it grows and be a part of something this big. And Antonio, you're just a genius. You truly are. You're a brilliant man, and respect you highly.
Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
how I want it to end.
Yeah.
I want to be on stage speaking and go and drop like a rock.
That's it.
And in my contract, I was saying, if Phil happens to die on stage, you'll have to pay this amount more in a fee, because there's not a newspaper in America that can resist the headline, humor consultant dies on stage, literally. and your company will get that extra PR, and because you'll get that extra PR, I want to be compensated for it.
That is good business, Phil. That's good business. Let's end
He's already had been in the newspaper with some things through the years.
Well, let's end with just a final word from both of you, however you want to do it, however long you want to do it. It could be motivational for someone who wants to be walking in your lane, or it could be a word of caution, just whatever you want to do. We'll start with you, Phil, and then we'll end with the lady. Just any last words that you would like the audience to know specifically.
We are all one. The same spirit that's in you is the same spirit that's in me. What I do to me. Number 2, think abundance. There's plenty for all of us. And number 3, be loving, forgiving, and grateful.
There you go. Susan?
How can I follow that?
I don't know.
I agree. Be loving, forgiving, and grateful, and everything else will fall into place.
There you go. Ladies and gentlemen. All right, ladies and gentlemen, come on, y'all. Clap for our humor consultants. That was spot on. Couldn't get no better than that. Come on. Come on. That was amazing. Amazing. Yes, we almost need to play music, because Jalen's up next. We need to play music. In the Southern Baptist Church, they'll tell you got to put that fire out before you bring up somebody else. You can't just be bringing people up after that like that. You don't love nobody if you do it like that. You got to bring that fire down, Antonio. You doing too much. So we're going to bring that fire down, because Phil and Susan was out here smoking it up real good, as good as that was. So I'm so glad.
Right.
Yeah, sounds about right. I mean, they came after it. Sorry, Jalen, for even putting you after them. I clearly don't love you at all. It's just, it must be real personal. It must be real personal. So we'll just take a few minutes to do a round. We know Jalen gonna rip the stage here in a second, but let's just show you something that we've been doing this a long time, y'all, a long time.
Happiness can't be traveled to. Happiness can't be owned. Happiness can't be consumed. Happiness comes from experiencing, being in the moment, feeling love, and having gratitude. I'm not talking about just the gratitude that you're grateful for that you woke up that day. I'm talking about that deep gratitude even when you're angry. Well, you really can't be angry and grateful at the same time. I don't think so. I'm talking about that gratitude that no matter what, that you can look at a person and just be grateful for who they are, what they are, how they represent you, or what you do, how they are in your life. Have gratitude for who you are and where you've been through in life. You wouldn't be where you're at today if it wasn't for all the stuff that you went through. Remember to stay in every moment. Be in every moment. And be grateful for every moment.
Because we have an internal thermometer that when you use a word like law of happiness, it's like, oh, so what are you trying to say? I'm always supposed to be happy? There's a law that says I'm always supposed to be happy. But I had to check it and pull it back a little bit, because what it's saying is there is a law of meaningful existence. Because for me, that's what happiness is. Not so much that I'm cheesing from ear to ear every time you see me and I'm just bubbly and that isn't me. But am I constantly in a state of meaningfulness? Is that what has me content? Is that what has me happy? Yes. Because sitting here today, my life has more meaning than it has in my 38 years of living. And that is because of the determination that I had that said, I don't care what you do to me, throw at me, or try to put on me. I am covered in a happiness that I've placed on me. And because I put it on, I'm the only person that can take it off. My life has meaning because I painted that meaning on me. And unless you're me, you can't take that away. The law of happiness says that we are 100% responsible for everything that occurs in our lives and everything that happens to us. So, the hardest thing to hear is that it's all your fault. The easiest thing to hear is that it's all your fault. Because if you are the one at fault, then you are also the one charged with fixing it. You are also the one charged with creating it. You are also the one charged with keeping yourself happy. The law of happiness is not so tricky anymore because I realized my life has meaning. When you realize that your life has meaning, when you realize that you've been placed on this earth to live a meaningful and purposeful life, and you begin doing that, then you're happy. And everyone around you will receive the trickle-down effect of that happiness.
Conditional happiness will not keep you happy. That's that, oh, well, when I get this house, I'm going to be happy. Oh, when I get this new job, I'm going to be happy. When I get my pay raise, I'm going to be happy. That's conditional happiness. Only unconditional happiness will keep you happy, which means you're happy no matter what the circumstance, no matter what environment you're in. Unconditional happiness will keep you happy. Conditional happiness is loaded with beliefs, different thoughts, things of that nature. And so because of that, that won't keep you happy. Anything at any given moment in time can keep you from being happy and cause you to be unhappy. It's the unconditional happiness that will keep you happy. Kids do this all the time. Kids know this better than adults. They know that life is supposed to be fun no matter what. Watch a toddler. Watch them for a moment and see the point where they get sad and they start crying, but see how long they stay there. They don't stay there long because they know, I need to get back to the point of happiness. I need to do something else that's going to make me happy. And they get back there as quickly as possible. And that's what we as adults need to do. Stay happy no matter what. Whatever's going on, don't worry, be happy.
I was worried for so long concerning who I should be, what I should be doing, what should be done by me. And I was less concerned with who I currently was, what I currently was doing, who I am. When you place an indicator or a word such as should on your life, that is a word that is determined upon somebody else's expectation of you. The law of happiness states that you live according to your own expectation. So remove should from your vocabulary. The only thing you should be doing is what you want to do. And the only person you should be is who you are. The law of happiness states that you should be you. And that is the only person you need to be concerned with.
I'm sure, like myself, you do not want to die sad. I'm sure if you leave this earth, when it's time for you to leave this earth, you would like to leave this earth empty, meaning that you fulfilled all your dreams and lived to the highest expression of yourself, and you would like to leave this earth happy.
So I am happy regardless of the weather. I am happy regardless of what's in my bank account. I am happy whether or not someone treats me right or treats me wrong. I am happy because I choose to be happy. So as I'm searching and looking for definitions of happiness, I stumble across a woman named Gabrielle Bernstein. She is the author of The Universe Has My Back. Shout out to Oprah because that's how I found her. Gabrielle says that happiness is the path of least resistance. And if you know anything about me, I love Abraham Hicks. Abraham talks about path of least resistance. And I have adapted that definition as my happiness because when I am not resisting, when I am not trying to prove a point, when I'm not fighting someone, when I'm just simply allowing, simply going through life, not trying to make a point, just exist, I am happy. Happiness for me is the path of least resistance for me. So when someone introduces new information and I go against it, I am not happy regardless of how I try to play it off. Path of least resistance is happiness for me because when I'm resisting, my mood changes. When I'm resisting, my guard is up. I'm not relaxed. I'm not calm. I'm defensive. I'm trying to protect myself. And when I'm in that space, there is no such thing as happiness. Since happiness is an inside job, since happiness is your responsibility, I encourage you to watch how you interact with yourself. Meaning watch how you talk to yourself. Watch how you love or respect yourself. If you are telling yourself how down you are, how broke you are, how no good you are, how you will never amount to anything, how you won't achieve your dreams, how you're not as good as the next person, as you telling yourself you won't make it, you won't do this, you won't do that, you are in a state that is not happy and you're not grateful for your life. It is your responsibility to talk to yourself positively. It is your responsibility to love yourself unconditionally no matter what. Speaking of no matter what, there's a book by Lisa Nichols called No Matter What. And in this book, it is painful to read, but I had to go through it. In this book, she has an exercise where you look in the mirror and you tell yourself, I forgive you for, and you insert your name. So I would say, Tempest, I forgive you for. And whatever comes out is the thing that you're struggling with. Well, I wasn't happy in my life because I had things that I was holding grudges against myself. I was holding on to unforgiveness with myself. And the moment I started to work on forgiving Tempest is the moment I started feeling better about myself. The moment I started inviting happiness into my life. Then once I forgave Tempest for things, then I can go on and move on to other people and forgive them for things that they did long ago, wasn't even thinking about anymore. But I wasn't happy because I was holding on to grudges, I was holding on to hurt, I was holding on to pain, not realizing that I was conditioning my life not to be happy. I was telling myself how low down and unworthy I was, so I wasn't living a life that was worthy of me. I wasn't producing a life that was happy. I wasn't producing a life that was positive. I was stuck in poverty pretending to be happy. Ladies and gentlemen, if your mind is polluted with poverty, not the money in your account, but poverty thinking, you are not happy. The only way you can be happy, in my opinion, is to find your road to prosperity. Poverty looks okay, it's comfortable, you think you're happy, but there's a level of happiness, there's a level of awareness that you're missing out on. You are ultimately responsible for your happiness. So if you at any given moment in your life you feel the opposite of happy, your life is not a happy life.
I want to tell you a story. It's my favorite story because there's so much to learn from it. There was this girl who had a really bad car accident during a storm. Once she started driving again, of course she was okay driving as long as it was dry and sunshine and blue skies outside. But when it came to it being rainy, she really didn't like driving. Well, one day, her and her father, who was sitting in the passenger side, they were traveling together. And they were on this road. And as they were driving, it started to rain. So, of course, she already, remembering what happened the last time it rained and when she got in the really bad accident, she already started freezing up at the steering wheel. You know, she got nervous, she got scared. And her dad told her, it's okay. It's going to be okay. Just keep driving. So she kept driving and the rain started coming down even harder. And she looked at him. She said, Dad, I can't do this. I'm going to turn over. He's like, no. I got you. Keep driving. And now she's getting frustrated at her dad because she knows he understands what she went through and she's not understanding why he won't let her pull over. So she keeps driving and the rain gets harder. And it gets harder to a point where she can't even see in front of her. She's like, Dad, I don't care what you're saying. I'm pulling over right now. And he looked at her. He said, you better not. You keep driving forward. And as she's driving, she's looking at all the cars on the other side of her that are parked because, ladies and gentlemen, it's raining that hard. And y'all know that kind of rain. That rain where you can't even see regardless of how fast the windshield wipers are going. It's raining that hard. But he tells her to keep driving. So now she's driving in anger. She's frustrated, she's angry, she's afraid, and her dad won't let her pull over. He told her to keep driving. So she kept driving, and eventually she got out of the rain. Just like that, it cleared up, the skies opened up. It's still a little cloudy, but now she sees the sunlight. It's not raining as hard, and then it actually starts slacking up to the point where it stops, and then her father looks at her and he says, now you can pull over. And so she pulls over and she's like, why did you ask me to pull over? He said, look behind you. He said, look at all the cars that are still in the storm. If you park in your storm, you stay in your storm longer than you need to. Well, ladies and gentlemen, why am I telling you this story? She was so focused on the fear, on the memory of the car accident, on the rain, on her dad not letting her pull over, on her anger towards him and her frustration, that she forgot to look at the good side of it. She had someone in the car with her who knew better than she did. She had someone in the car with her that she could trust, that did not guide her wrong. She forgot to look at the fact that she was still able to drive. She forgot to actually appreciate the fact that she made it out of the car accident and was able to get back behind the wheel of another car. She forgot to look at the good of the fact that the storm didn't last long. Ladies and gentlemen, stop focusing on everything that's going wrong and appreciate everything that's right. Always look for the good in everything. It's not always easy, but it's there. Trust me, I know. I have people that look at me every single day and see the good in me when I don't see it in myself. So, ladies and gentlemen, focus on the good. Stop focusing on the bad.
Ooh-wee. Ooh-wee. Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me, with the greatest pleasure possible, immense pleasure that I get to introduce to you the true maestro in the world of digital content. His name is Jalen Hughes. He has been called the king of the emerging king of content. And today we are lucky. We are mere socialites in his kingdom as he's getting ready to talk to us about contentnomics, making money with your message. Jalen is not just a digital artist. He is not just a visionary who has mastered the art of transforming ordinary individuals. He's not just a dude who is going to film the entire WonderCon. He makes overnight sensations of people who've been trying for years. His creative vision transcends boundaries. His creative thoughts transcends noise, enabling him to harness the power of digital content. As a published author of a trilogy series on personal growth and development, Jaleb has developed deep into the realms of self-love, self-awareness, and self-confidence. He often is known for the powerful concept of the power of why. It's not just in his writings, it's not just in his words, but on every page of his life, he has shown that he has pathways to personal transformation and empowerment. In his keynote, Jalen will share with us the extensive expertise of content creation for businesses. This is a unique opportunity to learn how to start making money with content creation. With his exceptional eye for trends, unparalleled knack for storytelling, and his relentless passion for making dreams a reality, it is Jalen, my friends, the king of content, that would teach us all about contentnomics. It is my pleasure, without further ado, to introduce to you Sir King Jalen Hughes, the king of emerging content.
Woo, thank you. That's a great introduction. Again, my name is Jalen Hughes, and my message is Contentonomics, making money with your message. So let's start off with this, right? A little thing about me. I went to a small school with just less than 2 hours from Chicago, Illinois. I always felt like I had a gift, a true calling to give to the world, but I didn't know how I was going to express it. No one was there to help me and invest in me and to push me to be the better person. I was bullied. I was told I was gay because I wanted to act. I wanted to model. I wanted to be a shining star for everyone that seen me. It hurt me, right? But I powered through that and I found myself. So I started making videos. I started expressing myself online and I learned the power of content. I learned how amazing it felt making genuine connections with the people who are just like you and I and my target audience. I knew that helping others become known because I felt unseen was my weird. And when I say weird, I don't mean W-E-I-R-D. I mean W-Y-R-D. So let's get into it, right? Your weird is your passion, the passion that pushes you and it comes easily without having to work too hard. It's also your fate. It's your destiny. And when you're working with content, you want to show your passion and your gift in your content. So we all talk about content creation. What is content creation, right? It isn't just about words and images. It's the heartbeat of today's business world. It's all about telling your unique story, building your narrative, and showcasing your gift. Social media has made it where small businesses can become global and become anywhere. Content creation is the act of producing and sharing information or media content for specific audiences, particularly in the digital world. According to Triton Commerce, 93% of businesses have generated new customers through social media video content. The majority of people would rather watch a video or see a photo that engages them instead of reading a regular text. There's a study by Nielsen in 2018, a total audience report that says that the average person spends 6 hours daily watching video. So let's talk about who is our audience. Who do we serve? Who do we want to be in front of? Your audience is like your extended family. Let's chat about how you connect with them. You speak your language and create content that they'll love. Who here, raise of hands, has heard the saying that, well, my clients are on Facebook, but I personally have. And when you're finding your audience, you have to dig deep and think about the things that you like, what looks good to you, what you're interested in, and what do you like to watch. Because if your audience is with you, they'll like it as well. Niche down. We all know someone here that says they're awesome or just really kind of average at 6, 7, 8 things, right? But they're not really good at one thing. They're not an expert at anything. And that's not how you get ahead. You have to niche down and serve your market to the best of your ability. Facebook currently has 2.989 billion users in the world. And you can't tell me that 1,000 of those aren't your target audience. So let's talk about strategy. What is the plan of attack? The human brain processes visual information 60,000 times faster than written text information. This means that a 60-second video can teach you more than 10 minutes of reading. Okay, guys, let's be honest here. Raise of hands, who here has taken a picture, maybe edit a video, did a live, you put your all into it, you poured your heart out, you thought, you know what, I look good today, let me post, especially for all my women out there. I know it feels amazing to push out how you feel, right? So you did all this work, you edited the photo, you put the little nice caption on it, being brown and in charge, being beautiful and black, whatever it is, only to feel that 5 people saw the post. It was defeating. You put all this work in for no one to see it. I personally hated that. And I knew that it wasn't going to be good. So I knew that I had something to change, right? And so I started planning. I started planning my attack. When you plan, it's like going to a trip, an event. You plan a party. You plan to take an appointment to your doctor. Set goals and objectives. Know your audience. Use emerging trends like video marketing, AI. Antonio talks about AI all the time. Engage your audience with lives, webinars, conferences like this that we know that we can really dive in deep and see how we are able to connect with our people. Use different mediums, be newsletters, use video. You can use infographics, be a podcast. There's so many different ways for you to share your gift. So now let's talk about content versus context. What and how? Posts should always be relevant to your audience and relatable. Use the 4 E's when you're thinking about posting. You want it to be educational, engaging, emotional, and empathetic. Now let's talk about quality versus quantity. How much is really needed and how spectacular do you really have to be? Creating great content consistently is the goal. It is the key. If you think about your favorite show, like on YouTube or on TV, you know exactly when to tune in to that show. For instances, we know every day when to tune into D6 days, and you know what you're going to get. Amazing, and you're going to love it every time. Think about your content as that. You're your own media company. You're your own show. Show the world what you have. You have to be hungry. Create a schedule. Create a posting schedule that is consistent. That'll also help you reach more viewers. Go online. See what other people are doing. Never compare, but look to see how you can position yourself in the market that you're wanting to be. So now let's talk about the story, right? We all have had a story that is compelling to us. Shout out one thing. You can all unmute if you want, whenever. Shout out one fictional story that really was awesome, that felt like it just touched you in your soul.
Bambi.
That's a great one.
The Lion King.
Even I can't compare, but even great one as well. Mine was Harry Potter. So stories are magical. Think about how you felt when I asked you. Your eyes brought up. You're willing to come out. You're willing to give everything you can give about that subject. And you felt like you were an expert in that knowledge or in whatever you saw. Feel the same with your content. Stories are magical. When creating, you need to share tips on crafting stories that will make your audience feel like they're a part of your adventure, your triumphs, your failures, your translations, your moving, everything. Today, talk about what you're doing daily. That's content. So let's talk about who is finding us, your searchability and your keywords, right? SEO, search engine optimization, is a word that we want to know. Ever wonder how to stand out online? You have to become searchable and you have to gain attention. There are the two top search engines right now are Google and YouTube. So let's talk more about SEO, right? Visibility and ranking. How do you rank compared to others that are in your industry? Increase traffic. Who is actually going to see you and see what you're giving? Credibility and trust. Who trusts you not only to give you their money, but their time as well? What makes you credible? The user experience. How do people feel like when they rate you? How do people feel like when they work with you and when they get your content? Obviously, we talk about target. You have to know your target. Competitive advantage. How can I get ahead in my industry? And then global reach. Where are you? Where are you needed? And where can you make a big impact? So let's talk about promoting yourself. We all need promotions. We all need marketing, right? Content promotion. There's a quote by Stuart H. Britt, and it says, doing business without advertising is like winking at a girl in the dark. You know what you're doing, but nobody else does. And it's the same with your content. The top 4 social media sites for businesses are Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Each day on YouTube, there's over 1 billion hours of video that is consumed. So who here has heard of the term sharing is caring? Well, that's very true, right? If you want to share something, you care about it. You care because not only you're going to give it off to somebody, but you care how you're going to feel. You care how it made you feel when you were giving out something. Think of a topic or the feeling you feel giving a gift. Christmas is coming, right? That feeling of just giving out to somebody. That's how you want to feel, right? Sharing is caring, and that will show up in your content. Remember that creating is just one part. Sharing is the second part. So let's talk about how do we measure success? How do we measure what we've shared, right? Analytics. Men lie, women lie, but numbers don't. Numbers can be your best friend, your buddy, your road dog, right? You can, and anyone can unmute their mic right now and tell me if you can name one top athlete out there that doesn't take the time to look at their numbers and watch their performances back and measure their progress.
Don't know.
Exactly. So if you want to be known, you have to do the same. How do you make yourself better without measuring your success? Each platform that you use should have its own analytics page where you can see this information. Track and measure your performance. Use different types of content, push out all at once. See which one performs the best. Ads. Use ads. You can use Google Analytics, social media insights to help monitor your return of investment of what you're putting out. Remember, ads are for data, not sales. You have to get in front of your ideal client before you can sell them anything. So let's talk about what we all came here for. How to make the money. How do we monetize our content, right? You have to explore different ways to monetize. You can do affiliate marketing. You can do sponsored content. You can partner with ads, be an influencer, be an ambassador. You can sell digital products online. I know there's at least 3 people here right now that has an ebook that they haven't sold through their social media hard enough. It's all possible. You can do it, but you just have to push it out. So there's some other ways that you can make it, right? Using an email list, using your website, driving traffic to your landing page to help bring in more clientele, to not only build your brand trust with them, build your credibility, but also let them know, hey man, we got what you need. We got what you need, right? So let's talk about how do you build that trust? How do you build that authority? How do people value your product and your influence. So I have a question for you. What takes years to build, but only 1 second to break?
Trust.
Ding, 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 ding. That is amazing. Trust is priceless.
Your
People
reputation.
buy. That is also tied into it, but very true. People buy from who they like. People buy from who they trust. They don't want to be sold. They want to be consoled, right? So think about a situation. Maybe you're at the store. Maybe you're at the gym. Maybe you're at a restaurant. And you seeing something and you're like, that looks pretty good. But then you overheard somebody and they're like, oh, the steak was amazing. This was great. This was that. You automatically have more trust for that because someone else that you might trust is talking about what you're talking about. So you have to be there and you have to use that to your advantage. Build that trust. Adapt to trends. Be willing to be part of a community. Be willing to show your love to everybody and invite them in. People love new challenges. People love new trends. People love feeling like a celebrity. How can you make them do that with your content? So it usually takes 10 to 12 hours of trust before buying. Content is a free way of how you build that and how you make it easy for your sales team to make the sales, right? Because that's what's about, making money. It gives you the chance to be global and have a more targeted reach on what you're doing. We also think about omnipresence. When I think about omnipresence, I think about being everywhere. I think of almost Santa, right? He sees you when you're sleeping and he knows when you're awake. He sees everything because it's in his face. You have to think about your content in almost that way. If you put it out where everyone sees it at all times, they know that they're ready for you and they're very more receptive to what you may have to give. So I know everyone here has social media because it is the new digital age. At this time, I do want to give you a few moments to ask me any questions of how you can make money right now with your content.
All right, this is audience participation time. Who's got a question? Be selfish and ask a good question for our speaker. Who will be first? Then I will start volunteering people. Queen Renee, you are first.
All right, cool. So, question. How short should my videos be? Because I do different TikToks and I have them to be at least 60 seconds, but should I go for shorter or should I keep it about the same for TikTok?
For TikTok, I would go shorter. I would go 10 seconds or less. And the thing that would help you more is I would try to start with something that's very fast and eye-grabbing. Give them something to bring them in for that 10 seconds. And then once it happens, end it where they almost feel like, oh, wait, I got to go back and see that again. So then they run the video back again. And, oh, I see what she's saying. Now I need to comment because where is she going with this? Now they're commenting in your comments. Do you have a link to whatever you're selling currently, right? Like your ebook or whatever you're doing?
Yeah, I have a link for it. I just need to, like, I had an event and I got people to sign up, but I haven't really put it on my social media, which is, I know. Don't kill me yet though. But yeah, because it was a really big hit at the event, but I just was like, okay. And so I need to do something more with that. So probably a good 10-second video would really be good because I have a picture of it and stuff. So yeah, I can do like a snap of it.
Definitely do that, but also post that link in your comments. Gain free marketing for everything that you're doing. You need to be everywhere. So if they see your comment, they see your vote, they fit it, your vote, well, I can't speak it. They say your video, they see your caption. It all ties them into whatever you're trying to push out. And that is how you become a little bit more with omnipresence and really push out your brand with through TikTok. Or really any social media with that does the short reels, but TikTok specifically, because most people are going to give you about 3 seconds, 3 to 6 seconds on TikTok.
Okay. Okay. So, all right. I need to chop it down a little bit more. Okay. All right. Thanks.
But I would also do both, you know, have some that are short, but have your minute and a half where you do something that, you know, maybe you're doing a special on writing fiction for the day. Maybe you're doing a 60-minute special on how to battle writer's block. Maybe you're doing 30 seconds on the ChatGPT prompt I use to help me get ideas from when I write. However you are doing it, think about your SOPs, right? If you can document your progression and what you're doing, you might be on level 5, but there's people still stuck on 1 and 2 that'll pay you to get to where you're at while you're still growing.
Okay. Okay, cool. I got a lot of work to do. Cool beans. Thanks.
You got this.
Yes.
Jalen, how often should I post? How often should I, put my things out there? Like, do I set a schedule for like Facebook, then another one for this one? How do I, get my presence?
Think about it almost as if being available when people are more available, right? So let me dive in a little bit more with that. When I post, I want to post at different time frames throughout the day. Personally, I want to post at least about 5 to 10 times a day on each page. Me personally, I have about 5 to 6 pages. So if I do that, that's about 60 posts, right? I need to push it to 100. The way I do it, and I'll also give you some more tea that I can put in the chat at some point, is 1,000 day for Antonio. Well, yeah, he works a little bit harder, and he also has a team to help him. I'm my own team, and if you're your own team, let me teach you how. Right. So I like to put my Instagram and my Facebook together. I post through my Instagram, which automatically posts on my Facebook. So then I have those 2 posts right there. Say I post and then I could take that straight to my LinkedIn as well. So then I'm on my LinkedIn. And then say you did, as a writer, you did 30 seconds blurb on, like I said earlier, teaching children how to write, 30 seconds on that. You can then transcribe that and put into a video. So then there's your video for all your different, and just rerun that through. So what, at that point, that's like 10 pieces of content right there. Then let's say I post a picture and I do the same thing all the way around, but then it gets to LinkedIn. Maybe it was kind of a cute picture of you, but it was a little bit businessy. I change it a little bit for the medium, and I push it out. There's a lot of ways to repurpose, and if you have storage, don't ever get rid of stuff, because you can use it again. I still have stuff from 3 years ago that I'm using now, and it looks very brand new.
Okay. Thank you.
Of course. Anything else? Anybody else?
Yeah, Jalen.
Go ahead, Phil.
You mentioned that there are people that have ebooks that they're not making money off of. How would you tell them to proceed to make money off of them?
I would say every time you post, if you can somewhat put some type of call to action in the video at the end or in the post, that would be a start. I say at least post once a day on that spot, on that subject. And in every post, put it in your comments. Put the links out in your comments section and put it to the top. Put the link out, say you do a story. A story goes for 24 hours. Post a story with the link attached to it so they can go straight to it. Always keep eyes on it wherever you go. And I think that'd be the best way for you to do it. Or, if you want to get creative, maybe you read the first blurbiage of it on a live with them, and then you put the link during that live, put the link to your book in there. Or maybe there's let's just say I have a book on personal growth and development, right? And it's kind of like a checklist to see if you really like it, right? So what I would do, or what I would do if I were you, is maybe I'd read that first 5 checklist one. Do you think you need this? And give them just enough. And then you want the rest? Here's a link. All you got to do is get it free through either my email list. Here's a link you can get through my website, and just keep eyes on it.
There's 3 levels of selling. We can do it ourselves. You can do it with us. You can do it for us. Do you have pricing? Do you have products that fit those 3 categories?
Yes, I do. What I like to do is I like to teach you how to fish for yourself. The man that fishes for himself can live forever. But if that's just not your style, then I can come in with my team and do it for you as well. Or I can kind of coach you through it if you just want a little bit more control yourself.
All right, that sounds great. Do we have another one last question? Anybody with a question? Okay, well, Jalen, any final words from you or?
Perfect. Yes. Before I let you guys go, I have a challenge for everyone here. One photo, take the top photo in your gallery right now. I don't care what it is. Post it on one of your pages, right? And post it twice. Post with 2 different audios and just see which one wins. And that is how you're going to help to not only see kind of your SEO but also kind of how some people might view your message. So before I let you go, besides that, I want you all to know that you internally possess the tools to be whatever you want in life, but how will you use them? And when you're looking on content, think, who are you? What do I have? And why should I make you listen? Thank you. This is Content Hypnotics, making money with your message.
All right, come on, y'all put your hands together. That last part was super good. Yes. Congratulations. We are down to our
Nice
our
job.
very, very last speaker. It will be Deanna Marie. She will come through and plow the field. But before we are regaled with her expertise, I got to tell you a story. We got to put that fire out. Got to tell you a story. Back in 2014, 15, 16, something teen, probably 15, I told Shannon, Tempest, Grace, Deanna, Bryant, and Michelle, we've got to take over speaking. It's wide open. And now that people can watch videos on their phone now, because, you know, that's how it works, we've got to take over speaking. And so we went out and put on the biggest conference in the world. Deanna went and struck a deal with Doubletree Hotel. Grace and Antonio went to selling. Shannon and Tempest went to scheduling. Brian went to selling. Michelle went to selling. And nobody bought a ticket from us. Not a damn nobody. Not a damn nobody bought a single ticket. Not a single ticket. We had like 50 days to sell. It's not that we weren't good. Nobody knew who we were. Not in that speaking thing. And I was coming from religion to over, and I don't want to hear that stuff. You know, so I had this whole church audience. And not the audience of, well, you all, not that whole audience. And just over a decade ago, just to say spiritual was a cuss word. Times have changed such a lot. It really has. It really has. Just to say spiritual was a cuss word. And I want to show you a video about how you should just keep going. Because I left out the story. We didn't stop because no one bought from us. We still did the conference. And I told everybody last 48 hours, look, Whoever hit this message, just tell them to come on and come for free. And sure enough, I want to show you what that looked like. I purposely took it back for a minute just so you can see that you can be good. And we were good. As Jalen said, and did everything right, but ain't nobody showed up. But I want you to watch this here.
How many lessons do we have there now? 12. She has a 12-step program that sounds a lot more than $51 a month to me, doesn't it? Yeah. We just built your product. Clap for her. Did that work?
It sounds like a Sunday
All right,
school
now put
clap.
the camera on him. Put the camera on him. Let's go. That's it. No, we build the courses. Yeah, nah, y'all been paid money. We not. Nah, you need a course. You need a course. Let's see if we can control this live feed. Push that live feed over there on him and let them see him too. Yeah, that's right. He'll do it. He's not gonna let you let this man be a man. He's not gonna let you do that. There he is. There he is. Well, no, just turn the whole tripod. Yeah, turn the whole tripod. There you go.
Oh, you're doing the whole camera?
There you go. Turn the whole.
Right there. That's all the people up in there, and they all came for free. Right there. This one, we're gonna do it again. Rewind just a couple seconds. Watch the room turn.
There he is. Well, no, just turn the whole tripod. Yeah, turn the whole tripod. There you
Nobody.
go.
Nobody. Oh, bright girl.
Oh, you're doing the whole.
Oh, bright dude.
There you go. Turn the whole camera.
Married couple. That's it. They're married. I think this guy's running for council person now. And I have no idea what Rashida's doing, but she's pretty cool. And there you go. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. And keep going. I wonder why I brought that up, because it ties into our last keynote speaker. Her name is Deanna Marie. She is a certified herbalist, a profound advocate of well-being, and she brings us the keynote that promised to enlighten us. It's called Ascending to New Heights. Become who you dreamed about. Interesting how even when people don't buy your tickets, she's going to teach you, keep going, keep showing up, keep becoming who you are. Somebody need to hear it. I'm going to say it again. She is getting ready to tell all of us dreamers, keep going, even when nobody shows up. Keep going when nobody hits you up. Keep going when the paycheck look funny. Keep going when your family say, I'll be there, but they're not. She will guide us through the profound understanding of that our dreams need to be distant mirages. Our dreams need not to be distant mirages, but achievable realities. Deanna will unravel the complexities that we often find ourselves stuck in a loop, where our dreams seem not to be aligned with our reality. She'll explore the pitfalls of living too much in our dreams, and she will help us stop constantly comparing our dreams to our realities. She would then help us not to hold ourselves back. But more importantly, Deanna will share to us a pathway, a plan, a roadmap to becoming the person that we've dreamed to be. Through her own journey of experiences, her own expertise, and the fact that she was in that very same campus and was the opening speaker of that conference. Deanna's extensive knowledge draws from her expertise in cognitive behavioral therapy, spiritual practices, and herbal wisdom. They form as the bedrock of her always becoming philosophy. This transformative approach outlined in her pioneering book, The 46 Laws of Becoming. As an entrepreneur, she has led multi-million-dollar enterprises from Beyonce's dad to Antonio T. Smith Jr. and ATS. She has always prioritized the idea of well-being over anything else. She is currently our Chief Quality of Life Officer, and she helps integrate natural health principles into leadership, her always become principles inside your soul, and her happiness kids inside your mind. Her life as a writer, a loving daughter, a loving mother, a nurturing soul on this planet is a testament to her holistic health. In her keynote, she would give us these principles and these practices. And without further ado,
the queen of always becoming, the all and the ways and the becoming, the inventor of the 46 laws, and the keeper of all that needs to be kept, Deanna Marie comes to the stage.
Ooh, become who you dream about. Thank you so much for that introduction. Wow. I just want to do a quick quality check of everyone. How's everyone doing? Is everyone okay this afternoon? You know, Jalen killed it. Grace started us off. And then, you know, the original humor consultants, you know, they always imitated. They can't be duplicated. You know, they knocked it out the park. Well, I want to do a quick quality check. How is everyone? How is life for you on this day? All right. So I have a
Sometimes all you
question.
need is $1 billion.
Huh? Come on. Who can get $1 billion? Isn't that oof? That'd be beautiful. Oh yeah, that'd be wonderful. Come on with the balloons. I feel you, Grace. I feel you. But how many of y'all get stuck in the thought that your dreams don't match your reality? How many of you have some days you're sitting here and you just your dreams are so strong, you can feel them so strongly, and all of a sudden you get reality slap you across your head, be like, hey, not today. This is what we got to deal with today. Yeah. Okay. Well, I understand. And I want to talk to you today, not about, I don't want to tell you to stop dreaming, but I want to tell you to become who you dream about. See, I was that person who life stopped for me because I couldn't handle my reality. And what I dreamed about, I decided to live in my dreams because I couldn't handle my reality. But then when reality hit me across the face, I didn't know how to respond to it. So everything around me shut down. I didn't know how to respond to my reality. So I, without emotional intelligence, vomited all over everybody around me because, hey, you're not a part of my dream. You're in this reality that I don't want. So let me, so you can get away from me because you're not a part of my dream. And this reality is not what I dreamed of. So I'm going to go back to my dream. And I escaped my reality through my dreams. Well, I want to come to everyone today and tell you that in order to live your dreams, you have to become who you dream about. And the first way to do that is to stop living in your dreams. Now, what do I mean by stop living in my dreams? I don't know about you, so I'm going to talk about myself. So I was so busy comparing my dreams to my reality that, like I said before, I decided to just live in my dreams. Because when I compared my dreams to my reality, it didn't match. It didn't look the same to me. It didn't feel the same. The colorful, vivid, vibracious, 115-pound, wearing 6-inch heels and mini skirts dream didn't match the 215-pound. Better not walk out this house with something above your knee. What you mean 6 inches? You can't walk in 3 right now. Reality. And because of that, I didn't like that comparison. One was vivid, vivacious, and just bright. And the other one was this dull and frumpy, looked like a grandma. Like I couldn't I didn't like how these looked. So what I did was I escaped my reality by living in my dreams. Nothing in my reality existed. My world was only a dream. So I was escaping my reality through my dreams. Let me tell you how else that looks. You binge watch TV shows just so you don't have to face the reality of you're nothing like the TV shows. You watch the movies and imagine yourself the heroine or the hero in the movie just so you don't have to face the reality that you're the villain in your own life. That's what this looks like. We have to stop living in our dreams, because what that does is it holds you back when you look at your reality. When you're living in your dreams, it's holding you back from taking a full examination of what is in your reality so you can account for it. When you only live in your dreams, you cannot take account for where you really are in life. Now, imagination plus emotion equals creation. But if all you live in is the fantasy world, you can't take account for what's in reality. So you can't properly use your imagination to add the proper emotion to it so you can create who you actually want to be. So the first thing you have to do is you have to stop living in your dreams. Now, mind you, I'm only talking to you from personal space. I can't tell you anything I have not done myself. And I am queen of living in a dream. Let me tell you, I have been creating vivid worlds in my mind since I was in junior high, okay? Let me tell you something. Harry Potter ain't got nothing on my imagination world. I have been the little sister of the richest 4 brothers in the world because I was adopted because they daddy ain't never had a daughter. I have been the queen of I don't know how many proms. I have had moms galore. I have been a cheerleader. I have been the cheerleader. I have been, you name it, I have been it. I have been on stages all over the world. Look, I was once married to Prince William. Okay, let me tell you something. And then I was married to Harry before Meghan. Okay, he was mine before he was hers. Just telling you, this imagination of mine is amazing. Okay, but she sure did. She sure did, Antonio. She stole my man. But anyways, back to where we are. Stop living in your dream so you can account for your reality, so you can become who you dream about. The second thing I had to learn was to stop comparing. Stop comparing your dreams to your reality. They're dreams for a reason. You don't compare them to your reality. You account for your reality and you become your dream so you can make your dream your reality. But if you're sitting here and you're comparing the fact that in your dreams, you're 115 pounds, you have 25 mansions around the world, you have 15 yachts, and you're comparing that to your 1-bedroom apartment, with your Toyota Corolla, with your 175 pounds, and sometimes you can't always buy food. That's why you ain't quite hit 200 pounds yet. But when you do buy it, you buy out of depression. So you buy the food you really shouldn't be eating. When you compare those, you stunt your growth. You create your depression. Because you're sitting here comparing this marvelous, beautiful dream. And then when you look at your reality, you're like, oh my God, it's nothing like that. My life sucks. No, it doesn't suck. You're just living your dream the wrong way. Don't compare your dream to your reality. Make your dream your reality. You're going to be disappointed every time. I was once married to Brad Pitt, and here comes Angelina Jolie, and now I'm depressed because that was my husband. I was married to Channing Tatum, and then he went and got married to the chick he was in a movie with. Like, okay. Really? I was married to Will Smith, and then he met Jada. I mean, all my husbands got stolen. All of them. Let me tell you something. Brad Pitt was it, though. And then it was Johnny Depp. I'm just saying. Disappointed every time I found out they found somebody else. Like, what you mean? You were mine. But that's what happens when you compare your dreams to your reality. And then what ends up happening is you end up blocking your own dreams because you can't face your reality. The moment you say, let me account for what's in front of me. Let me sit here and do an inventory of my life. Okay, I have this, 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 and this. I can account for this. Now, let me control it. But when you're comparing your dreams, you can't account for your reality, and then you can't control it. So now life is happening to you instead of for you. Become who you dream about and stop comparing your dreams to your reality. When you can't face your reality, a multitude of things start happening. You start lashing out at the people around you because they don't fit your dream. You do become depressed because your reality doesn't fit your dream. You start making crazy decisions because your reality doesn't fit your dream. Your emotional intelligence is nowhere in the picture because you are so much living in your dream. When you hit your reality and it doesn't fit, you don't know how to act because you've never lived in your reality. You've only been living in your dream, and in your dream, you're perfect. But in your reality, you're broken. In your dreams, you never have to face the brokenness, the trauma. But in your reality, when you get hit with it, because you never faced it, you don't know how to respond to it. So you go into a spiral. You go to the jobs that you truly don't want to be in because you need to sustain life. But you're not really living. You're not living. You don't have the job of your dreams because the job of your dreams is you sitting at home all day doing nothing, or going shopping, or getting on the next flight to go to another country to attend a concert. But that's not in your reality. So you wake up every morning depressed, angry. Or how many of y'all, when y'all wake up in the morning, you just kind of sit at the edge of bed for a second? And you sit there and you're like, okay, you have to give yourself that pep talk every morning, like, okay, I can do this. I can do this. Eyes not even open yet. I can do this. Actually, before you even sit on the side of the bed, you still under the blanket. And you look at the alarm clock as it's going off and you hit the snooze, but you wake up every 5 minutes to look at the clock and you're like, okay, I can do this. Just 5 more minutes, I can do this. Okay. And then you actually get up and you sit up and you have to sit there for a second. You just kind of stare out into space. And you're like, okay, I can do this. I can do this. I can do this. But when you become who you dream about, alarm clock goes off earlier than it ever has before. And you're up before it even goes off. And you're up, you're bright-eyed, you're ready for the day. You don't even sit on the edge of bed because you are who you dream of being. So when you wake up in the morning, you wake up excited to see what the day holds for you. So stop comparing your dreams to your reality. And become who you dream about. How many of you know exactly who it is that you want to become? Who it is you dream of becoming? Who exactly knows who that person is? Like you don't have to know, you don't have to know where she is. You just know who she is. I do. It's a combination of a few different people. It's a combination of Oprah, Beyonce, Michelle Obama. It's a combination of those three women with a little bit of Coretta Scott King thrown up in there somewhere. Don't ask me where she came from, but I don't know. It's just something about Coretta. It's something about her soul just screams to me like, you know what? I'm gonna need Coretta in my life. I feel like to have been married to Martin Luther King, it took a special type of woman. And then we all know Michelle Obama. Come on, I mean, and Queen Bee, who, and then Oprah, just the amazingness of Oprah. A combination of these four women with a little bit of Madame Marie Laveau thrown up in there, you know, just a little bit of all that in there, all in one. That's who I want to be. That's who I want to become. That's who I dream of becoming. So how do I become who I dream about? The first thing I got to do is become a better person. Treat people better. Treat myself better. Take care of myself. Do my hair. Take a shower every day. Smile at myself in the morning. Become a better person to me so I can become a better person to Grace, to Antonio, to Brenda, to Christopher, to Lindsay, to Aaron. Become a better person within myself. See who I am. Shine my light. Be kind. Be loving. Be forgiving. Battle my childhood trauma. Battle my adult trauma. Because adulting in itself is traumatic, okay? I don't care what anybody says. Adulting causes trauma. Because you didn't tell me when I was 18 exactly what type of bills I would have to be paying and how I was supposed to. You didn't tell me I had to go to work every day. You didn't tell me there was no summer vacation when I had a job. You didn't tell me Christmas vacation wasn't going to be 2 weeks like it was when I was in school. You didn't tell me I wasn't going to get a whole week for Thanksgiving. I went into the workforce, and the very first holiday, I'm like, okay, I'll see y'all in 2 weeks. And my supervisor looked at me and she laughed. She's like, baby, no, you work now. You're an adult. You don't take off like you used to in school. And I didn't understand that, y'all. Like I had a mental issue. Because I had my first job at 17. And it didn't help that my first job was for a private school. So when the school took off, I took off. But that job after, it didn't work that way. Adulting caused me trauma. I didn't know that you had to make a certain amount of money per hour to pay rent. I lived with my father until I was like 20 years old. And when I turned 21 and got my own place, I thought I was going to live in a lap of luxury. I was going to have all the cable in the world because Dad had all the cable, you know what I'm saying? Internet because Dad had internet. Lights because Dad had lights. Food because we always had food. Only to find out, no. I had enough to pay rent and lights. That was it. Cell phone, what do you mean? I actually had my friends come knock on my door one day, unannounced. And I'm like, what y'all doing in my house? We was coming to check on you. Y'all couldn't call nobody, do your phone off. Oh, you sure right. You sure right. I had to become a better person, and becoming a better person is taking inventory of where you are in life right now. And once you take that inventory, what you can account for, you can control. So what do I need to account for? I need to account for the fact that I'm not nice to myself. So let me become a better person. Let me be nice to myself first. Because in being nice to yourself, you become a better person for not only you, but for the people around you. And then you start attracting more things to you. And then the second thing you do is you start becoming the person you dream about. Well, Deanna, how does that look? You said 5 different people. Okay, so what do? I read about these 5 different people. I find out the habits that they have. What are their daily routines? What kind of books do they read? How do they dress? Listen to their interviews. Pay attention to how they hold themselves. And I start becoming that person. I start dressing how Michelle Obama dressed. I start making business moves like Beyonce makes. I start building businesses like Oprah. I pay attention to what they say their spiritual practices are. Do they have spiritual practices? Because if you pay attention, Antonio always tells us that success has one language. And if you listen to all successful people, they have a spiritual practice. It doesn't have to be your spiritual practice, but have one. If it's praying every morning or meditating, you choose. If it's reading tarot cards, you choose. If it's walking on the beach every morning to watch the sunrise, you choose. Because whether you understand it or not, that is a spiritual practice. if it's listening to certain tones and vibrations while you're sitting still, that is a spiritual practice. If it's journaling, that is a spiritual practice. Start becoming who you dream about. Pay attention to the people that the person you want to become surrounds themselves with. Does Beyonce surround herself with people who binge watch TV all day? I don't think so. So maybe you shouldn't be binge watching TV all day. How many books does Oprah read a month? She has a whole book club. Join the book club. Read the books she reads. What type of workout routine does Beyonce have? Because let me tell y'all something. That post-twins Beyonce body is on point. And she did Coachella after dropping twins. Excuse me, Baychella. After dropping twins. What is her workout routine? What do they eat? Michelle Obama was an advocate for child health, for school lunches being healthier. What type of eating habits does she have? Who did Coretta Scott King surround herself with? Who was her best friend? Madame Marie Laveau, what were her practices like? Who did she surround herself with? How did she go about her day? What was her daily routine like? And you pull from who you dream of becoming and you become that person. If you don't have specific people, who do you dream of becoming? What does your bank account look like? What does your friend circle look like? My friend circle looks like this. Well, maybe it's time for you to start networking. My bank account looks like this. Well, maybe it's time for you to start reading some financial books, some financial education books, some investment books. My wardrobe looks like this. Well, maybe it's time for you to get a workout routine and get a healthier diet so your wardrobe does look like this. If it's not a combination of people like me, there's a certain caliber of person you dream of becoming. So what does that person look like? If you're single and you want to be in a relationship, what does your partner look like? And then who do you need to be to attract that type of partner? Because you can't be who you are today to get the partner that you're dreaming of getting. There's a wonderful book out there. Oh, I just forgot the name of it just that fast, but it was written by Grant Cardone's wife, Miss Elena Cardone. And she said in it, she made a list of who she wanted her husband to be. She made a list of his qualities. This was before Grant. But she also understood that in order to get the person with this list, she had to make a list for herself. Because she had to have certain qualities that this person would want. So if that's something that you're looking to do, make a list. If you're already in a relationship and you want a better relationship, or you are seeing something for you and your partner in the future, what does that look like? Make that list. What are the qualities of the couple that you want to be? Come together, sit down together and make that list. To become the person you dream about, you have to now sit down and take inventory of where you are and where you want to be. And then you start making steps and putting action steps into place to become who you dream about. And you live in the daily habits of becoming your dreams. The people that I mentioned that I dream of becoming, that one person combined with those 5 people, first off, they wake up every morning at 3 a.m. They start their day at 3 a.m. Am I close to that? No, not really. Does my alarm go off every morning at 3 a.m.? Yes, it does. Do I get up at 3 a.m.? 1% of the time. But you know what I tell myself? Hey, take inventory. You ain't getting up at 3 a.m., but you sure want that Oprah Winfrey lifestyle. You want global wealth, but you're not waking up at 3 o'clock. Check yourself. You want that post twins Beyonce body? Put that burger down, girl. You want to heal people with natural cures? Start with yourself. Research the herb combinations to replace the things that you do so horribly. I like an energy drink every now and then. So why don't you replace it with an herbal, all natural energy juice or tea? Start living the person you dream of becoming. And guess what? You'll start becoming the person you dream about. You'll start becoming who you dream about. Now, how do I know all of this? I've done it. Not consistently, but I've done it. And when I start that process, life changes drastically. When you start to become the person you dream about, things fall into place. When you start with you and not what's around you, that's when the change begins. You know how they always say, we all say this. In the airplane, they say put the mask on you first and then help the person next to you. Because you can't help nobody if you dying yourself. So start with you. Start becoming the person within yourself first. And then what's around you, what does not serve you will fall off. And what you need will naturally come to you. Now, I know this sounds cliche, but please understand, you'll recognize cycles within yourself that you didn't know you had. You will start waking up every morning at 3 a.m., doing your morning routine, doing your mastery journal and picking 4 things to focus on for the day. And you'll complete day 1. And then you'll get to day 2 and then you'll recognize some patterns like, okay, I got through the first one, but it took me all damn day to do it. Why? Well, because you got distracted. You let this particular part of your reality, because you never faced it before, this particular part of your reality hit you and it knocked you off kilter. So you had to do some things in the middle of the day to reset yourself. And now you have to start all over the next day. But then you get so upset with yourself that you actually got knocked off kilter because you were so focused that now you have to spend another day to reset yourself. And then now you're upset that you spent so much time resetting yourself that you can't focus. So now you have to reset yourself again. And it just becomes this cycle of uncompleted things. This cycle of incomplete projects, this cycle of you, and then when you realize that, oh crap, I did the cycle again, you stop it. You're like, okay, wait, let me reset and actually start over. And so you start it again, and this time you get through 2 days, and you're like, oh, okay, I made it 2 days, and then you get knocked off kilter again. When you actually start becoming the person you dream about, you start recognizing your patterns, your unhealthy patterns. And then you start realizing, wait a minute, why do I keep doing this? And then you start asking questions. Why does this happen when this happens? And you start doing this self journey because you're starting to propel yourself forward to becoming the person you dream about. And you're not understanding why you're not there yet, only to understand that the person you dream about has battled and conquered everything that you're about to go through. That the journey to get to that person, that life, came with some scars. You had to do a little bit of warring and battling to get to that person. But what you didn't understand was the warring and the battling that you had to do was with you. That's why you start with you. Because as Antonio always tells us, you can't put new wine in old skin. So you have to become somebody new every day to get to who you're dreaming of becoming. And it's okay, because as you take this journey, your reality will begin to change and you will begin to see the person you dream about. So I want to let all of you know today, I understand. Me too. I built my life living in my dreams so I wouldn't have to face my reality. Only to realize that who I dream of becoming doesn't live in my dreams. They face their reality head first every day, and they flow and they work through that process. And every single day, I wake up and I become who I dream of becoming. I want to thank each and every one of you for joining me today. I hope your imagination will always be a celebration of you.
All right, y'all, put your hands together, please, for our final speaker. Yes, thank you so much. Great work. We've had such a good time. Upon your screen, you will see WonderCon, which is the main event for which this conference comes from. It is 120 days as of this recording, 17 hours, 7 minutes and 8 seconds, 5 seconds, 4 seconds, seconds away from here. If you, Grace, unmute your mic, would like to get tickets up to 10% discount, all the way to 99% discount. Grace, tell them what to do.
Come on and contact myself, 409. I'll put it in the chat though, 409-457-6304.
Say it a few more times, Grace. We're going to run this on Facebook Live too. And then we're going to put it on LinkedIn. You got to say it for those folks too.
Yes, please contact me. Contact me, Grace Sandals, at 409-457-6304. I am putting in the chat one more time. Third time. There you go. Thank you so much. 409-457-6304.
Grace, tell them about the Zoom chat again. Tell them what you just put in the Zoom chat. Just one more time. I missed it.
Put in the Zoom chat and contact Grace Sandals to purchase your ticket to WonderCon at 409-457-6304.
Grace, if they get a ticket to WonderCon, what comes with it?
Oh.
Let's say they get the basic ticket. There's a big thing that comes with it. Like, it's a huge deal. It's a huge deal. But you got like music and stuff, but there's something got words and
yes,
and cover and stuff.
You get a ghost written book by Antonio T. Smith Jr.
Well, wait a minute, Grace. You mean if I buy a ticket, I do what?
You get a ghostwritten book from Antonio T. Smith Jr. He will write your book for you. If you've been having a book inside of you, it's like, man, I don't know what to do. No worries, because Antonio will ghostwrite it for you.
I heard that guy's a celebrity ghostwriter, and he captures voices, even women's voices.
He does.
I've heard he's good.
Yes.
I've heard he's real good.
Very good.
I've seen him turn a 2-page book into a 200-page book. I've seen it. I've seen it done.
Okay.
So what you're telling me, this is the only conference on the planet in which someone gets a ticket, they get a book?
Yes. Only one I've heard of.
Well, what about that big ticket though? What about that VIP ticket? What happened then, Grace?
With the VIP ticket,
they get a book written. Not they get a book. A lot of conferences you go to and you get a book.
That's it.
This is the big fact, Phil. This is a big fact. You get a book.
Very big fact.
100% credit for you.
Yes.
Grace, it's not one, it's not two, but
it's three.
It's three of them.
Three ghostwritten books. Okay, you get a book. Three books written for you.
Three
from the celebrity ghostwriter. Yes, three.
Really?
Yes. I have to ask Ina how to say three in French, but you get it. Okay.
Whatever she just said right there. Whatever she just said right there. Yeah, Grace. Surely that ain't in writing though. Y'all just talking because it's a little conference. That's not in writing. You didn't put it like on the website. That's not in writing.
It is. Yeah.
You're not legally, contractually obligated to do that.
Well, you got it on the site, sir. So yeah.
Oh man, but if you get the other one, it's two of them.
It's two of them.
And if you get the basic one, it's
one.
One,
but you still get a book that you did not write. That you did not write. Yeah.
So you mean Dion can get a whole 3-book series?
Listen.
And she can have the next Hollywood movie, The Lord of the Rings.
Come on.
Whole 3-book series because that celebrity ghostwriter don't just do self-help and stuff. That celebrity ghostwriter does fiction. I hope they don't ask that guy for fiction because fiction is a little more daunting task, but he can do it though.
He can. He's well able.
Wow, that's incredible. Now, Grace, there's a couples package too, $4,499.
Yes, there is.
But you may or may not, we cannot confirm or deny. You may have discounts on all these joints, huh?
You might.
Just might. Might have a discount over here, but they got to call you to find out, huh?
They do.
They got to call you to find out. Oh, man. I mean, I did say up to 10 to 99%, huh?
You did.
You know what? Let's make an agreement. We're going to do this for every conference that we do. Every pre-conference that we do. We're gonna go ahead and give that 10 to 99% discount.
Okay.
Can I push it further?
Please.
For the Density 6 employees, when they bring their friends automatically apply for a discount.
Okay.
They automatically receive a discount.
Listen.
As long as you know somebody who work for Density 6, you automatically get a discount.
Okay. Because I see somebody on here named Aaron is somebody's friend on this call. Okay.
I thought that was a cousin in the chat. I saw cousin.
Yeah, cousin.
That's Aaron is cousin. All right. Cousin Aaron. Okay.
They used to do backwards flips. They used to do backwards flips off the front porch together. You understand? Yeah. You understand?
So Antonio, what you tell me, that's a friends and family plan.
That's a friends and family plan. I like it. I like it very much so. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got to end right now. Grace, time me for 120 seconds. Time has been well spent. I'd like to thank all of you for coming. I'd like to thank all of you who were here before and arrived as well. And plus, we have done a great job. Our speakers are brilliant. They're just absolutely brilliant. Diana, let's skip the 21st one and do the next one after that. We're going to let people enjoy their holiday. But we will do something on the 21st. We might just rerun this video. You understand? We might just rerun this video. It was well. That's what we're gonna do. That's what we're gonna rerun this video on the 21st because they need to see Phil and Susan again. Yeah, they need to see Phil and Susan again. Let me just say unto you real quick. If Ella, you can just unmute your mic. You now non-employees, this doesn't qualify for you, so I'm not going to put any information out there. However, if all of you could just unmute your mics, you're getting ready to get an email from me greatly, but I'm going to get the credit, but I shouldn't because it's all Tanya. That's nothing to do with me, but she has absolutely made sure we got some discounts on our flights and stuff for just being employees. If y'all can just unmute y'all mic.
Ooh, yeah.
Yes. So absolutely. Two things are going to happen. You're going to get an email from me. It's going to have details, but not details to sign up. Don't expect that from me because I saw her already posting lineups. So you're going to get your details to sign up from her. So pay attention to her getting the details to sign up and pay attention to me telling you a few more things about that division and future forward, all specifically about benefits. Ladies and gentlemen, that was 119 seconds. I'm now 3 seconds over. The last thing I can say here is if you can't be as fine as Phil Sorrentino or Donia Dixon or Trinace Carter, then at least you can get a ticket and we can work on it. Okay, we can work on it. Antonio T. Smith Jr., you can't plan better. You can't dominate. We will let you all know the next event. Love you, everybody.
Love you more.
Love you more.
Love you more.
All right, y'all. Enjoy your holiday.